There are 3 easy steps in creating your resume link. Let me show you how.
Step 1. Register. Go to www.jobs180.com using any browser and click Register Now. Fill out all the information needed. In choosing your resume link, use your full name so that it looks professional and it's easy to recall by potential employers. For example, Antonio Juan de la Cruz .jobs180.com. Step 2. Create and design. When creating your resume, make sure to complete your personal information and upload your profile picture. One of the highlights of the resume link is the portfolio section. In the portfolio section, you can show off your skills by uploading samples of your work like documents, pictures, videos, and your social media links.
Your resume link also features different themes and you can upload a cover photo. This is a combination of a cover letter and a social network cover photo. Here is an example. You can also download a copy of your resume link and print it. Step 3. Apply for a job. There are many ways to apply with your resume link.
First is browsing the job recommendations in your Jobs 180 dashboard.
If you're qualified, click Submit Resume Link. So what are you waiting for? Dress up your next generation resume, stand out brightly among the competitive job seekers in the market, and win the heart of your future employers using Resume Link.
Good morning, everyone. This is Robert from Jobs180.com, and welcome to Jobs180.com's Marketing Me Live. Now, this session is done for and in coordination with the Consolacion University of the Philippines. Before we proceed, I would like to invite everyone to join us in prayer.
Praise God from whom all blessings flow. Praise Him, all creatures here below.
Good morning again, and thank you everyone for coming. We would like to thank in advance as well the companies that will be presenting later. Also, we would like to thank CEO Group for being one of our corporate sponsors for this event. Get the latest fashion trends for your corporate attire needs. Check out CEO Store in Lazada and Shopee or at the nearest mall in your area. For career opportunities, visit jobs180.com/CEO Group. Okay, so I would also, of course, like to thank our school partners, your school officials. Siyempre, ni natin magagawa itong ating webinar if it were not for the coordination ng inyong school officials. So we're very happy that we were able to hold this webinar for you right now. And well, with that, we have someone from your school that will share to us a short message. To give us an opening remarks, I would like to introduce to you the person that will be sharing a short message for you, Miss Filomeno E. De Jesus, Guidance Counselor of your school, La Consolacion, University of the Philippines.
Okay. Good morning. It is my honor and privilege to deliver the opening remarks of Mrs. Maria Isabel Esquibara, the coordinator of Student Welfare Services, who needs to attend to an important matter. Our distinguished resource person from Jobs 180, LCUP administrators, faculty, personnel, students, a blessed and grace-filled morning to you. Welcome to this virtual career orientation and to La Consolacion University, Philippines. In the midst of the new normal brought about by the COVID-19 pandemic, today's virtual career orientation activity, planned and coordinated by the Career and Job Placement Officer with Jobs180.com officers, is very important for you, our dear college students. We move forward in this difficult time, and you need to think about your future, your life after graduation, which awaits you. The transition from being a college student to a working professional, particularly during this time, would be challenging. The new normal world of work would necessitate innovative techniques on how to apply for jobs and ensure selection among the many applicants. For sure, work environment would be very different. The topics for discussion are timely and necessary for you to be guided and directed. You're lucky that there are organizations and persons who have advocacies to help the youth, the future workforce of the land. So, my dear students, I encourage you to listen and be active participants in today's session. The University and the Student Welfare Services Career and Job Placement Unit wish you to pursue your dreams and aspirations. May you achieve and accomplish the desire of your hearts. We wish you to have a bright future. We're looking forward to your college graduation. I hope to give you a congratulatory handshake face to face. Let me take this opportunity to thank our respected resource persons. We thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Please know that your effort to serve the youth are appreciated. We wish you more success in your endeavors. May God always protect you and keep you safe and healthy. God bless you and your family. Thank you and have a great day.
Thank you, ma'am, for delivering the message that was prepared for this morning for the starting of our event. And of course, kami po sa Jobs 180, we are hoping that ma-deliver namin yung promise namin sa inyo na matulungan ang inyong mga students. So thank you very much po. Hope we could see you again soon.
Thank you.
Okay, so we could start Now, I'm checking the comments. May mga nag-good morning sa atin. So, good morning po sa inyo as well. Since you're there, gusto na rin namin i-request because we want to get to know you better na paki-comment ang inyong name, course, and year of graduation. Again, that's name, course, and year of graduation. If hindi pa graduate, lagay niyo yung expected na year kung kailan kayo graduate. Okay? Also, dyan sa same comment box, we will have kasi Q&A after each talk. So, dyan nyo na rin type ang inyong questions para sa ating mga speakers. And wag na natin hintayin na matapos ang buong talk. Kahit sa gitna, pwede na kayo mag-comment ng inyong questions. Tapos, a-address ko siya later, bibigay ko sa ating mga speakers later on. Okay? So, I would now like to share our topics for today. So, we will be covering 3 topics. And we will have one company for each topic. So again, one company, one speaker, and then isang buong talk, tapos Q&A, and then saka tayo usog sa next na talk. Okay, so on your screen, you can see that the first is getting ready for online applications. We have someone from jobs180.com, New Normal World of Work. We have someone from Cognizant Technology Solutions and Guide to Achieve Financial Freedom. And we will have a representative from FactSet Philippines. Okay, so let's now move on to our first topic, which is getting ready for online applications. So again, we will have someone from jobs180.com, and now I would like to introduce. He has 20 years of experience in sales, marketing, business development, customer service, operations, business process, and human resources. As a trusted resource speaker, he has done over 1,000 career development seminars in more than 400 colleges and universities nationwide. Let's now turn our attention to the Managing Director of Jobs180.com, Mr. Kim Chua.
Everyone, allow me to share to you how to make a job-winning resume. Yan. A lot of you are now looking for a job and exploring for the next chapter in your life. I hope that this session will be able to help you. No? Not only you, but the people that you know that needs help in terms of how to make a job-winning resume. Yan. So yan na tinatawag natin resume link. A lot of platforms right now, mga online platforms are being offered left and right. But for you to know paano to magiging job-winning tool or job-winning resume to, meron akong checklist. So go with me, no, with all these checklists. Your checklist should include the following. Number 1, kailangan mag-stand out ka. When you look for a job, you have to be able to stand out. Because if you're not going to be able to stand out, then I think you'll just be part of the crowd. You'll be one of the next applicant na wala lang, na hindi mapapansin. Another thing that should be in your checklist is that you should only have one file. Hindi dapat maraming files na iba-iba sinesend sa mga companies. Mas maganda, isang file lang para pag sinend mo, lahat ng details mo nandoon na. Another thing in your checklist is that it should make the process more efficient. Ibig sabihin, mas mabilis mag-submit, mas mabilis makita ng HR, at mas mabilis kayo makontak for possible next steps na or possible job offer na. Now, another thing in my checklist is that dapat tipid ito, wala itong gastos. The tool that I will show you today, wala itong gastos. Libre po ito. At higit sa lahat, ito ang pinaka-importante sa lahat. This should be in your checklist. The tool should be secured. Okay, more than anything, importante talaga ang data. Pero ang data ninyo, dapat yung protectionan. And using this tool, this is the most secured resume kung tawagin. Bakit siya tinawag na most secured resume? Let me go through the next slides na. Okay? Ito tinatawag na resume link. Okay? A personalized URL for anyone can open online anytime. I will use an example para makarelate kayo. If you are John Santos, ang link mo or resume link mo pwede maging johnsantos.jobs180.com. Ganun lang kasimple. At yan na po ang resume link nyo. So how do you make one? Go with me through the 3 simple steps. First step is you have to register. Absolutely wala tong bayad. Libre po ito. How do you register? You go to the website of jobs180.com. That's www.jobs180.com at dun ka mag-register on the upper right side of your screen. Now, as you do that, you have to put the basic information. Okay? So, alam nyo na ano mga information yan. Hindi ko na isa-isahin. Babawasan nyo naman at alam nyo naman ano dapat ilagay. Now, as you create your account, you have to use a valid email. Okay? Now, before we go to the email, paalala ko lang, sa mga nag-isip sa inyo, paano kung hindi ako si John Santos, ano gagawin kong resume link? O yan, baka nag-isip kayo eh. So, if ever lang, meron kang kapangalan, okay, just so happen na may ibang John Santos na nauna sa inyo, ano mangyayari? Magkakaroon doon na red na box, sasabihin niya, this name has already been taken. Huwag kayong malungkot. Pag taken na, okay lang, just be creative. Pwede mo gawin, baliktarin mo. Gawin mo santosjohn.jobs180.com o kaya J Santos o kaya Santos J o kaya JS o kaya SJ. Depende kung ano gusto mo gawin. Basta importante, wala kang kapangalan. Okay? Wala kang kapareho. Now, when you do this, huwag kayong OA. Do not create yung mga ganong klaseng over creative na mga resume link because it doesn't look professional. Imagine submitting to a company with your resume link that says eljablo.jobs180.com. Hindi yan mukhang professional. Okay? Now, when you register, please use a valid email. Ito yung emphasis ko lang sa pag-create nyo ng account na dapat gamitin yung email, yung nabubuksan yung email, kagaya ng Gmail, Yahoo, or any email na nabubuksan nyo. Do not create, example lang yung mga email na kagaya ng ganito, patricia@facebook.com na email. Huwag kang gagamit ng joseph@facebook.com na email to register. In short, huwag mong gagamitin yung @facebook.com na email. Because if you use @facebook.com na email, you will no longer be able to receive notification being sent to you by the companies as well as jobs180.com. Importante po na nabubuksan nyo yung email nyo kasi kailangan mo i-verify yung account mo. Okay? It is very important that you verify your account as a proof na ikaw nag-register at pangalawa, para ikaw yung makapag-apply. If you don't do this, if you don't verify, walang mangyayari sa account nyo. Okay? So, sayang lang. So, you have to verify to finish the first step. Okay? How do you verify? Just open your email, look for the link, click mo yung verify, you're done with the first step. Okay? Tapos na yung first step. Ano yung first step? Register. Wala tong bayad. Let's go to the second step. Ang second step, ang pinaka-logical sa lahat. Kailangan kumpletong detalye nyo. So how do you do that? You go back again to your account by going to the website of jobs180.com. This time, hindi mo kailangan mag-register. Ang gagawin mo, mag-login. Pag login mo, lagay mo dito yung email nyo or resume link nyo, kayo lang may alam yan, at lalo na yung password nyo na kayo lang talaga may alam yan. So when you do that, you now go inside your account. Pag nasa loob na kayo ng account nyo, ano gagawin nyo? Mabilis na lang ito. Fill in the blanks. Okay? Now, I don't have to go through all the information here because definitely, alam mo naman pag sinabi ditong name, malamang pangalan nyo. Pag nakalagay dito address, malamang address nyo. Diba? So you put all the information ninyo dito. Okay, lagay nyo. Then, what else do you put in here? Importante po, lagay dito lahat ng posibleng paraan na pwede ka makontak ng isang HR. Kagaya ng social media account nyo. Diba? Hindi lang email tsaka phone number. Bakit? Most of the time, ano nangyayari? Okay, let me tell you. Marami sa inyo nilalagay nyo phone number nyo. Pero pag tinatawagan kayo ng HR, hindi nyo sinasagot. Lalo na pag hindi mo kilala. Hala, sino kaya ito? Hindi mo sasagutin. Diba? Kasi takot kayo, baka nagsascam or whoever yung tumatawag. So, ano mangyayari sa mga HR? Mag-i-email kami ngayon sa inyo. But you don't open email more often than you open your social media account. So, I recommend lahat ng posibleng paraan na pwede ka makontak na isang HR, ilagay mo dito. Kagaya ng mga Facebook nyo or Twitter nyo para mabilis tayo makapag-PM. Private message, makapag-invite for the next step. Okay? What else do you put here? You also put here your work options, yung mga work experience nyo. Pagdating po sa work options, you can see on the screen, you have 4 options na pwede nyo pagpilian. Parang switch lang yan. Yes, no switch, on, off switch. So you can choose here, example, looking for OJT, lagay mo yes if you're looking for OJT right now. And later on, pag hindi na, turn it off. E di lagay mo na no. Diba? So depende yan kung anong mas trip nyo or ano mas pasok dun sa hinahanap nyo right now. What the system will do is it will try to match you with companies who are also looking for the same profile with what you have. Yan yung kagandahan ng tool natin. Hindi mo kailangan mag-door-to-door para mag-submit ng resume link ninyo. Okay? What else do you put here? You put here your school under education. Even later on, okay, pagka-graduate nyo, you can also put here your schools. Yung mga nag-take pa kayo ng further studies, pwede mo rin ilagay dito. Okay, so walang limit sa space yan. Pagdating ko sa seminars attended, ganun din. Kahit gaano karami, pwede nyo ilagay dito. Kahit magkopyahan pa kayo. Just make sure lang alam mo yung seminar na yon. Kaya baka matanong ka sa interview. Pagdating po sa certification, ganun din. Put all the certification programs that you've had, you put it here. Okay? When it comes to the achievement, do not limit your achievement only inside the school. Hindi lahat na nakikinig ngayon ay Dean's Lister. Hindi kayo lahat dito ay honor student. 'Di ba? Ayan, nag-agree marami sa inyo. So hindi lang po ang achievement nakabase sa academic excellence. Some of you are student leaders. So if you're active sa school, you also put it here kung ano yung mga pinagkakaabalahan nyo. And hindi lang sa loob ng school, even outside the school. If you're active in your barangay, halimbawa, isa kang tanod, ilagay mo dyan. 'Di ba? Yan yung mga achievement ninyo. So you put it here. Bakit? Because what you're doing now is you're trying to market yourself more effectively to that prospective company. Okay? Now, when it comes to the skills and languages, ito yung common observation namin mga HR. Pagdating sa skills, nilalagay mo lang na skills yung mga umiikot lang sa course nyo. Hindi porkat communication arts ang course mo, com arts lang ang skills na alam mo. Hindi porkat engineering ang course mo, ang alam mo lang na skill ay pang-engineering. Hindi porkat tourism or HRM ang course mo, ang alam mo lang na skill ay pang tourism at pang HRM. Maybe some of you are into multimedia, into photography, into videography, into something else, arts, crafts, whatever. Lahat ng yan, skills nyo yan. Remember, what you're doing here is you're marketing yourself more effectively. Kaya kung ako sa inyo, ilagay mo dito lahat ng skills na alam ninyo. Pagdating po sa languages, ganun din. Huwag mong ilimit yan sa dalawang lengguwahe lang. Because I'm sure alam nyo na yung dalawa. Kung dalawa lang talaga alam nyo, din dalawa lang. Ano tong dalawang to? English and Tagalog or Filipino. Okay? Now, if you know other local dialect, Bisaya, Kapampangan, Sabacano, Ilonggo, you can also put it here. If you know foreign languages, German, French, Chinese, Japanese, diba, Korean, pwede mo ilagay dyan. Okay? Walang limit sa space yan. When it comes to the references, sigurado ko yung mga references nyo, kilala nyo. Ang malaking tanong dito kayo ba'y kilala nila? Sana oo, di ba? Kasi madalas pag tumatawag kami sa mga references nyo, hindi kayo maalala. So please tell them, ginawa nyo silang reference para at least they know what to tell about you. Okay? Now at this point, to make your life easier, kung sakali lang nakagawa ka na ng resume nyo in your Word file or maybe in your doc file, depende kung anong file nyo, PDF file, whatever file you have. Kung nakagawa ka na ng resume nyo, simple na lang. Just copy all the information inside dito. No, ilagay mo sa loob ng resume link. Just transfer them here inside the resume link para maging secured yung data nyo. Okay? Kung bakit secured, I'll tell you as we go along. Okay? So yung mga sinabi ko, I think alam nyo na yan. Alam nyo na yan. Okay? Itong mga susunod kong papakita, ito yung mga amazing na portion. Let me start with the portfolio section. Ano yung portfolio section? This is the part where you now upload evidence of your skills. Example, ano ebidensya na graduate na kayo later on? Diploma, di ba? Transcript. Ano pa? Toga, hindi ebidensya yung toga. Okay? Kung ano man meron nyo, di ba? Certificate, diploma, yan, ebidensya yan. Okay? Kung transcript of records is evidence na graduate na kayo. Ano ebidensya na wala kayong criminal record? NBA clearance, police clearance, di ba? Ano ebidensya na pwede ka pumunta sa ibang bansa? Passport, visa, lahat ng mga sinasabi mong mga skills mo or yung mga what you're claiming that you know, you can now support them here sa portfolio section by showing those documents. Diba? Anong ebidensya na ikaw ay healthy? Meron kang medical clearance. Anong ebidensya na pwede ka mag-drive ng sasakyan? Meron kang driver's license. Diba? So gets nyo na yung sinasabi ko. Ang point ko lang is you can now put the things here to support yung claim nyo of your skills. Now, you're starting to think, Sir, kung pare-pareho naman kaming graduate sa school namin, pare-pareho kami magkakaklase, same yung course namin, same yung school, same yung teachers, same yung curriculum, pare-pareho lang naman kami lahat, walang experience sa trabaho, how will we stand out? Ayan, di ba? Okay, ito ngayon yung isang magandang recommendation ko sa inyo on how you now stand out. You get your smartphones. Kunin mo yung mga smartphones nyo. Kung wala, manghiram sa kaibigan. Okay, hiram mo sa kaibigan mo. I-record mo yung selfie video mo. You say something interesting about yourself. Record it in about 30 seconds to 1 minute lang. Huwag na masyadong mahaba. Ano gagawin mo? Pretend that you are being interviewed by the HR. So you answer basic questions like, tell me something about yourself. O, di ba? Ano yung mga gasgas sa tanong natin? Why should we hire you? O, di ba? Just imagine na tinanong ka ng HR at sasagutin mo na lang siya. Ang maganda lang ngayon, recorded mo. So kung di mo type yung sagot, i-delete mo. Pag type mo, you save it. Then you upload it sa YouTube or sa Vimeo. Maraming mga video channel na libre, mga video converter sa online. Hanapin mo lang. And when you're done, you put that video link doon sa portfolio section nyo. O, di ba? This time, it will definitely make you stand out because depende na to sa diskarte mo on how you're going to present yourself. Okay? So I leave it up to you on how you do that. Now, another thing for you to do, na sure akong hindi to makokopya ng classmate mo, ay yung picture mo. Diba? So you put your profile picture here. Now, when it comes to the picture, hindi kailangan sobrang formal na formal. Hindi kailangan pumunta sa studio. Huwag na kayo gumastos. Ang importante dito, tumingin kayo sa camera. Plain background. Okay? Plain background, tumingin kayo sa camera. Wear something, of course. Wear something decent. Okay? Do not upload profile pictures that look like the right side of your screen. Yung mga sample na yan, hindi po maganda yung sample yan. Okay? So, huwag kayo maglagay ng mga ganun kasi mga sample ng profile picture. Now, another good thing pa that will make you stand out using the resume link is your cover photo. Yes! A picture paints 1,000 words. Yan ang kasabihan na very, very applicable dito. A lot of you who are listening today, hindi kayo gifted with writing skills. Hirap kayo express ang inyong feelings at inyong thoughts into words. Hindi mo ma-type, hindi mo ma-sulat. Tama? Hirap tayo eh. Bakit? Hindi natural sa atin yan. Pero pagdating sa picture, kaya mo i-express yung inyong personality. Look at the examples I'm showing you. Look at the one on the left. Ano siya? Isa siyang ophthalmologist or optometrist. Sabi naman ng iba, eye expert. Di ba? Yung sa kanan, ano siya? Sabi ng iba, sir, parang IT. Sir, techie siguro kasi maraming gadget, pati stapler, gadget niya. Diba? Halimbawa, o sabi ng iba naman, sir, parang makalat. O depende na kung how you are going to interpret it. But now, the way I see it, itong taong to, multitasker. Okay? Another good example I'm showing you is this one. Someone from psychology, someone from neurologist, or maybe someone who knows left and right. Ganun lang kasimple. No? So depende yan how you're going to express yourself. Okay? Another good example pa, Itong person na to, ang gusto niya sabihin, there's no shortcut to success. You will be able to reach your goal by taking one step at a time. O, di ba? So, I'm showing you good examples. Hindi yan member ng Akit Bahay Gang. Hindi rin po yan social climber, in case that's what you're thinking. So, kung nagpakita ko ng magaganda example, I will also show you yung mga hindi magandang example para wag niyong gagayahin. Huwag kayo magpapaka-misteryoso. Okay? Make sure you put your picture there. Okay? Kasi maraming pangalan ngayon interchangeable. Ako mismo, guilty ako dyan. My name is Kim. A lot of people think babae ako. Ako rin mismo, napagkakamala ko yung mga aplikante, pinakita ko, Chris, George, Alex, Sam. O, diba? Minsan isipin ko, Joey, lalaki. Yung pala, babae. Diba? So, you better put your picture there para at least alam ng HR who to expect. Okay? Now, when you make your resume link, dapat may laman talaga yan. Kasi kung walang laman yan, ganyan itsura niyan, blanco. And how do you expect companies will look, or HR from companies will look at your profile if you submit to them resume links that look like this? It's like submitting a piece of a paper, bond paper, or long bond paper, short bond paper na walang laman except pangalan mo. And that's the same as this one. So hindi yan papansinin ng mga HR for sure. Okay? Sayang lang oras nyo at oras ng HR. Kailangan attractive. Okay? When I say attractive or catchy, do not overdo it naman. Now, this is just in my opinion. In my opinion, I think this one is not a good example. Kasi ang dating niya parang tamad, parang happy-go-lucky, parang chill-chill lang, no? Parang gano'n na dating. So, I leave it up to you on how you'll be, expressing yourself na dito. Okay? So, sa mga personality nyo. Alam niyo na anong dapat nyo gawin at hindi nyo dapat gawin. So, showing a very good example is si iExpert. Tignan mo, lahat ng detalye niya, kompleto. Everything. From top to bottom, kompleto lahat ng details, including yung kanyang mga portfolio section na nagpapatunay na siya ay isang licensed ophthalmologist. Pinakita niya lahat ng mga posibleng hingiin pa sa kanya ng mga HR. So bakit ko sinabi sa inyo napapabilis yung buhay dito? Hindi lang buhay nyo. Pati buhay rin ng HR napapabilis because once you submit all this information to that company, when the HR opens your resume link and sees everything about you, dalawa lang ang pwedeng mangyari niyan. One is, nahuli mo attention, gusto ka niya ngayon kausapin or schedule for the next step, like interview or possibly job offer, or hindi ka nag-fit. Yun yung second. Diba? Para at least, ang maganda rito, hindi na pabalik-balik, hindi na siya tatawag para sabihin, hello ma'am, meron ka bang evidence na graduate ka na talaga sa school na yan? Can you send me your transcript? Diba? Can you send me yung mga evidence or yung mga sample skills o sample work mo kasi you are in IT or in graphic design, diba? Gets yung maibig ko sabihin. Wag nang pabalik-balik, sayang yung oras. Okay? Time is of the essence, lalo na ngayon. So you put everything there, at least pa nakita ng HR, diretso na kagad sa pagprocess sa inyo. Okay? A lot of you are now thinking, sir, pag gumawa ako ng resume link at nilagay ko lahat ng information ko dyan, baka naman yung mga data ko nakakalat na sa buong mundo. Baka naman yung mga information ko nakalantad na sa buong internet. The answer is, no. Kaya nga siya tinawag na the most secured resume. Okay? Bakit siya tinawag na most secured resume? Because you have the ultimate control over your privacy settings. Follow the screen. Inside your dashboard, when you log in, you can go to your settings. Sa settings mo, to be specific, puntahan mo yung privacy settings. In your privacy settings, you choose the information that you want to show in public. Halimbawa lang you do not want to show your birthday. What do you do? Turn it off. Ayaw mo pakita yung address mo. What do you do? Turn it off. Ayaw mo pakita ang inyong references. What do you do? Turn it off. So lahat na naka-off, hindi lalabas sa public. At sino may control niyan? Kayo lang. O, di ba? Ang maganda pa rito, real-time update yan. Halimbawa, today, you decide not to show your birthday, your address, and references. And then 5 minutes later, you decide, sige, pakita ko na nga birthday ko. Turn it on. Real-time. 5 minutes later, the moment you save your settings, lahat na binigyan mo ng resume link, updated na rin sila real-time. As in real-time. Di ba? Ayos, di ba? Sige, tuloy natin. Tuloy pa natin to. So, reminders ko na lang sa mga late na dumating or kakakinig lang, when you make your resume link, make sure that your profile is interesting and attractive. Okay? Wag OA. Iba yung over naman yun. No? Wag naman ganun. So, make sure it's attractive, it's catchy. Complete all the information, especially your contact details. Kasi sayang naman lahat ng ginawa mo, nahuli mo atensyon, hindi ka makontak ng HR. So, better make sure nandyan yung mga contact details yun na updated. Okay? So, yan. So, tapos na tayo sa 2 steps. Last step na lang. Ano yung first step? Recap lang. First step is register. Wala tong bayad. Libre po yan. Second step is for you to complete the information. Yan ang pinaka-logical. And the last step now is for you to submit. So, you're now thinking, okay to paano ko gagamitin ngayon yung resume link? Bigyan kita ng iba-ibang paraan. Okay? Lahat ito practical application para makarelate kayo. Unang option, pumunta ka sa website ng jobs180.com. That's www.jobs180.com, and that's where you now start to look for companies. Type the companies that you're looking for. Pag may lumabas, edi good. Pag walang lumabas, edi wala. Okay? Huwag din pilitin. Okay? Now, you can also see there a lot of companies, a lot of company logos that you can shop around, you can choose, learn about the company, and if you want to be part of the company, I recommend you submit your resume link kahit na hindi ka pa qualified. Let me repeat what I just said. If you want to be part of an organization, if you want to be part of that company, even if you are not yet qualified, I recommend you give your resume link to that company. Bakit? Imagine, kung ngayong hapon, ngayong araw, nag-submit ka ng resume link sa isang kumpanya na naghahanap ng 3 years experience na aplikante. Wala ka pang 3 years experience. Okay lang. Because nabigay mo na yung resume link mo sa kanya, pagdating ng 2024, siguro naman by that time, meron ka ng 3 years experience, di ba? Kasi nag-work ka na ngayon by 2021. By 2024, may 3 years experience ka na, pwede ka na ma-qualify dun sa position in applyan mo. And you never know. That company might just contact you later on, provided that your details are still updated. So you have to update those information real time. Ayos ba? Ayos, di ba? Wala nang pabalik-balik. Hindi mo na kailangan magbalik-balik dun sa kumpanya para sabihin, nag-apply po ko sa inyo last year. Ako po yung OJT nyo 3 months ago. Wala lang ganun. Okay? Another practical application. When you submit your resumes through email, how do you do that? Madalas, ito ginagawa natin. Mag-email tayo, sasabihin natin, Dear HR Manager, I would like to apply for the following position. And this is my resume. Ano gagawin nyo? I-attach mo yung Word file mo or PDF file mo. Tama? If that is how you're doing it, wag mo nang gawin yon. Wag ka na mag-attach ng anything sa email. Pampabagal lang yan, tsaka makaluma na yung style na yan. Bakit ko sinabi yon? Kasi hindi mo na kailangan talaga mag-attach ng anything. Ang gagawin mo, i-type mo na lang doon sa email mo yung resume link mo. Example, Dear HR Manager, I would like to apply for the following position. And this is my resume. In this example, Antonio Juan de la Cruz, 01.jobs180.com. That's it. Submit. I look forward to your information. Thank you. Send. Every time meron kang babaguhin sa details mo, hindi mo na kailangan padalhan yung HR. Kasi kung ginagamit mo mga attachment, ang kulit niyan Ang kulit, saka nakapagod. Anong gagawin mo pag nagbago ka ng phone number? Dear HR Manager, this is now my updated resume. Mamaya-maya, 2 weeks later, nagpalit ka ng phone number. Ano gagawin mo? Dear HR Manager, this is now my updated, most recent resume. O, di ba? Every time meron kang babaguhin, padala ka na padala doon sa HR. Nakakapagod yan, hindi lang sa part nyo, kundi sa part din namin sa mga HR to keep track which one yung pinaka-updated na details. So, this time, wala na kailangan. Palit-palit na lang kayo ng details nyo, update-update na lang sa loob ng resume link. Ayos ba? Ayos pa. Okay, tuloy pa natin to. Okay? If you want to print your resume, this is now the good news. You can now print your resume link. No matter how much information you have, the system will try to compress everything into one page. So kung gusto mo talaga mag-print ng papel at mag-submit sa mga kumpanya, walang kaso. Pumunta ka lang sa dashboard mo, hanapin mo yung print na option at mamili ka kung 1 column or 2 column version ang gusto mo i-print. What the system will do is it will try to compress everything into one page para tipid na. Di ba? Now, usapang tipid. Ito mas tipid pa. Gusto mo mag-print ng resume pero gusto mo magtipid. Itong gawin mo. Gumawa ka ng resume link card. Ano tong resume link card? Sa isang pirasong long bond or short bond paper, mag-design ka ng maraming resume link card. No? Maliliit lang, parang business card ang dating. In one piece of paper, I think you can make 10, 20 sets of cards. Depende sa size ng papel mo. At ang importante na ilagay mo dyan sa resume link card mo ay syempre ang inyong resume link. Diba? So, hindi mo na kailangan ilagay lahat ng details mo sa resume sa loob ng maliit na papel. Lagay mo lang resume link mo. And that is what you now give to the companies when you start applying. Look at the picture I'm showing you. Diba? Tipid. Hindi lang tipid. Secured pa. Tingnan nyo. If you submit yung big paper resume nyo, long bond paper, sinubmit mo sa isang kumpanya, nag-apply ka. For some reason, nilipad ng hangin. Yung nakapulot ng papel na yan, alam na buong detalye mo because everything is in that one-page printout. Now, if you lose that small piece of paper, don't worry. Meron kang peace of mind. Bakit? Yung mga kapulot niyan, limited sa privacy settings mo because you have the ultimate control over your privacy settings kahit na i-type niya yan sa browser. Okay? So, ang recommend ko rin sa mga nakikinig, use the gadget. Take advantage of the technology. Use your gadget, your laptop, your cell phone, your tablet, kung ano man. Okay? Para ngayon kasi, this day and age, technology na ang gamitin natin. Kung mano-mano pa rin kayo, wala kayong gadget, okay lang. Huwag kayong malungkot. You can still submit to the companies by just simply writing the resume link on a piece of paper. As simple as that. Okay? So, again, sa mga nagtatanong, ano yung mga guidelines ko para makagawa ako ng job-winning resume? Ito yung guideline ko. Ito yung checklist ko. Are you using the right tool? That's the ultimate question. There are so many tools right now, but these are the things that you should consider when you make your resume. And that is the resume link. It already addresses the following. Number 1, security ng information mo. I hope by this time, you have peace of mind. Ito na ang pinaka-secured na information because you have the ultimate control over your privacy setting. Pangalawa, the speed of hire becomes faster. It becomes more efficient because whatever you need, whatever the HR needs, you can already put it inside the resume link. Another thing is that it's flexible. If you want to print, just in case lang gusto mo talaga mag-print ng resume nyo, you have the option to print it. And you don't have to worry about saan ko sinave yung file na yan, saan ko tinago, wala nang ganun. Just log into your account and print. Mamili ka lang kung 1 column or 2 column version. At higit sa lahat, wala po itong bayad. Tipid po ito. Walang bayad. Okay? Ang kailangan mo lang, of course, internet. Sa mga nag-iisip sa inyo, sir, kailangan ko ng pan-data, pwede ka naman makakonect sa internet na walang data eh. Punta ka sa libreng wifi. Diba? Baka yung kapitbahay nyo may libreng wifi o makagamit ka muna. Later on, pag may trabaho ka na, may sweldo na, bayaran mo yung wifi niya. O diba? Bawi-bawi lang yan. No? Give and take. And there are a lot more benefits to just what I've mentioned. Marami pang iba. You can share your resume link to whatever platform you want to share it to. Gusto mo i-text? Gusto mo siya i-private message? Gusto mo i-send via Viber? Kayo bahala. Pwede mo i-share. Basta kayo may control. Ganun lang kasimple. No? Kung hindi mo ito binigay sa kahit kanino, hindi malalaman to nung taong yon. And you don't have to save it to whatever USBs or hard drive. No need na. Wala rin tong mga tipong version na kailangan pa mag-compatible. Walang ganun. Lahat ito compatible. Pwede lahat. Okay? So, shout out na lang ako. Shout out to all our school partners. By the grace of God, right now we have about 400 plus colleges and university partners nationwide, including your alma mater. So thank you. We're very thankful for this opportunity that we're able to do this kahit tayo nasa loob ng bahay, kahit kayo ay nasa loob ng bahay. So hindi tayo physically nagpe-present, pero nakakatulong pa rin tayo, especially if you have friends or relatives whom you think would need this tool, please share this to them. Okay? Sa mga nagtatanong naman ng mga frequently asked questions, sasagutin ko na. Ito kasi yung mga common questions na kadalasan tinatanong sa akin. Ang tanong, can I give my resume link to companies who do not know about jobs180.com? The answer is absolutely yes. It depends kung sino ang bibigyan mo. Ikaw may ultimate control niyan. Okay? Pangalawang question, is this the same as other job platform like LinkedIn, JobStreet, iba pang mga job site? The answer is no. Meron tong dalawang major difference. Yes. Lalo na pagdating sa security. Okay. Of course, explain lang ako Okay. With respect to the other sites that I've mentioned, let me just use JobStreet as an example para lang mas makarelate, no? Para makarelate. You can only use JobStreet resume if you're applying to companies who are also using JobStreet. If you're applying to a company who is not using JobStreet, you cannot use your JobStreet resume anymore. With your resume link, you can use this to any type of company, any platform, wherever they are. Kahit sa loob ng Pilipinas or sa labas ng Pilipinas, pwede mong applyan. Kahit hindi niya alam ang Jobs on 80, basta alam niya ang resume link mo, pwede niya mabuksan ang profile at makita according to your settings. That's the first difference. Pangalawang difference, kung nabigay mo na, kung na-submit mo na ang JobStreet resume mo sa isang company, wala ka nang pwedeng baguhin. Lahat ng data mo nandun na yan sa HR. Yes. Hindi na magbabago yan real time. With your resume link, na-submit mo today, mali pala number mo, na-submit mo today, mali pala yung spelling mo, you can always edit it. Enter, save it. Real-time update. Lahat ng binigyan mo ng resume link, updated real-time. Ayos? Okay, tuloy tayo sa number 3 question. Number 3 question is the easiest question. Ang tanong dito is, can I keep my information secured? I hope by this time, na-convince ko na kayo na ito na ang pinaka-secured na platform. Okay? That's the reason why I'm sharing this to you. Okay? Number 4, I think this is the most important question. How often should you update your resume link? Ang sagot dito, hindi araw-araw, hindi linggo-linggo, hindi buwan-buwan, hindi taon-taon. Ang sagot dito ay every time. Every time na meron kayong babaguhin, lalo na ang contact details nyo. Yan ang importante. You have to update your contact details every time na meron kayong papalitan doon. Kasi yan yung paraan para makontak kayo ng mga companies. And the last question is just a trivia. Why is this called jobs180.com? This is called jobs180.com because we want to turn your life around. Yan, 'di ba? 180 degrees. Hindi siya 360. Kasi kung 360, bumalik ka lang kung saan ka galing, edi balik-balik ka lang, balik-balik ka lang, balik-balik ka lang, di wala nangyari. 'Di ba? So you have to do it 180 degrees. It's a straight line towards your career goal. Okay? Just in case may tanong pa kayo, nahiya magtanong, pumunta lang kayo sa website namin, sa jobs180.com or email me here sa info@jobs180.com. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, follow us on Instagram para makakuha kayo ng mga latest trends in recruitment. Okay? Again, my name is Kim Chu Wa. Don't forget yung Wa. Okay? Baka Kim Chu lang maalala nyo na nagsasabing be safe at isang magandang araw po sa inyong lahat. Thank you.
Okay, so that was Sir Kim Chua with this presentation sa Resume Link. And we have Sir Kim right here with us to answer your questions. Good morning, Sir Kim.
Morning po.
Yes, so sa ating audience, I suggest and recommend rather na you post your questions right now. Tatanong ko siya kay Sir Kim. In the meantime, magtatanong ako kay Sir Kim ng questions na natanong na before from our previous na webinars. Baka kasi gusto niyo rin marinig yung answer na binigay ni Sir Kim from before. So Sir Kim, you may be familiar, baka narinig mo na tong question na to. But regarding since it's a real-time update, and if yung applicant ay nagpasa ng resume link sa company, and kapag in-update niya, may notification ba sa company na binago tong kanilang resume link?
Okay, in terms of notification, hindi naman natin ginawa ng ganong klaseng pang-iistorbo sa mga companies na every time may babaguhin yung applicant, let's say nagpalit ka lang ng number or nagpalit ka lang ng address or nag-edit ka lang ng something, ng isang letter sa inyong resume link at sinave mo, ay manonotify na yung mga companies. Now, what we did is we want to make sure that yung mga nabigyan nyo po ng resume link sa mga companies or yung mga respective HR ay makaka-receive ng updated information nyo through their system, sa employer system po. Pag nag-login po sila, makita nila doon sino yung mga last updated. Pwede nila ma-filter yun. So, yun yung kagandahan. As an HR, I'm speaking as an HR, normally, sa dami ng mga resume links na nakukuha rin namin or natin, no, as an HR, hindi naman natin yung iisa-isahin para balikan lahat eh. Ang gagawin mo ngayon, if filter mo na sino yung last updated. Example, last updated within 30 days, last updated within 2 weeks, or maybe last updated within a few days. So, ganun yung gagawin mo ngayon. At yun yung mga unahin mo ngayon balikan. So, that's why I recommend sa mga nakikinig right now, I recommend that you update your resume link, lahat ng information ninyo from time to time, especially yung inyong contact details para kayo ay mas mabilis mabalikan ng mga companies na na-applyan na po ninyo. Okay?
Okay, so thank you, Sir Kim. Again, we can't stress it enough na dahil nga real-time update, capitalize tayo. Lalo na if nagbago ang inyong mobile number, don't forget to update this. Sige. Sir Kim, yung sa ating school partners, makikita ng students and viewers natin sa baba, may nag-scroll dyan na schools.jobs180.com/LCUP. Makikita once again sa ating mga viewers yan na nag-scroll schools.jobs180.com/LCUP. Ano ang ma-expect ng ating mga viewers na makikita nila sa page na to?
Okay, when you go to that link, schools.jobs180.com/LCUP, unang-una mapapansin nyo, yan po ay kaitsura ng alma mater nyo, which is your school. We created this page exclusively for your school, for you to use it. Now, it doesn't mean na kung meron kang kaibigan or mga ibang the barkads dyan na hindi taga LCUP, ay hindi na pwede pumunta sa page na yan. Pwede nyo rin i-promote yan. Ang kagandahan is makita nyo rito yung mga company partners ng school po ninyo, as well as yung mga industry partners din po ni Jobs 180. So this one helps you to look for companies na ang mga hinahanap ay fresh grads at saka mga for internship. Now, alam ko sa panahon ngayon mahirap maghanap ng mga internship companies. Now, I cannot guarantee no, na maraming mga internship companies din. Pero I am sure marami po mga companies na hiring. So sa mga naghahanap ng trabaho ngayon, hayaan nyo na yung internship. Trabaho full-time na yung applyan na natin. Kung wala naman internship, wag napilitin, di ba? So doon na tayo sa full-time positions. Now, if the companies will be able to accept you naman and understand, they will understand definitely no, na wala tayo masyadong internship experience because of the situation that we're in right now, the pandemic that we have, di ba? Wala naman sigurong taong hindi alam ano nangyayari right now. So I think they will be able to extend yung kanilang understanding po sa inyong situation din. So yun yung makita nyo sa link na yan, sa page na yan. Marami pong mga companies, marami pong mga opportunities. I-scroll nyo lang, hanapin nyo lang, pagtiyagaan nyo lang po no, sa part ninyo. Total, libre naman ang internet right now. Kung may wifi na libre, tingin-tingin lang ng opportunities, apply lang. At wala naman pong masama kahit na kayo ay mag-apply sa mga kumpanya na hindi pa kayo pasado. Kasi nga gusto ko i-emphasize ulit, even if you're not yet qualified, today, you can still submit your resume link to those companies as long as you want to be part of those companies. And anytime nag-update ka moving forward, pwede ka na makonsider in the future. Ayos, di ba? Yan.
Okay. Thank you, Sir Kim. Dagdag ko na rin sa ating viewers na doon din kayo, pwede na rin kayo mag-register at log in sa same page na yon. So, kanina sinabi ni Sir Kim, pwede kayo pumunta sa jobs180.com, makikita niyo yung button na register at log in. Available din yon sa school page nyo, kasama yun sa makikita nyo. Bukod dun sa sinabi ni Sir Kim, nandun yung mga industry partners. And also, kapag may upcoming events kayo, nandun din, darating din yun. Kung sinilip nyo ngayon, nandyan na may notification doon or nasa gilid na meron tayong webinar right now na nangyayari. So, Sir Kim, another question for you. Well, anong advantages na kapag gawin na nila yung kanilang resume link right now? Bakit parati natin sinasabi paulit-ulit na mag-register sila ngayon na ngayon? Kung di pa naman sila graduate, if meron pa naman silang expect na mangyayari na hindi pa nila malalagay sa kanilang resume link.
Oh, ang recommend ko nga, huwag niyo nang patagalin kasi ang memory natin minsan napupurol din, no? De biro lang, no? Ano nangyayari? Sa mga graduating students ngayon, ayan, para makarelate kayo, tanungin ko kayo, isang mabilisang tanong lang. Anong mga ginawa niyo nung first year kayo? Nung freshman pa lang kayo nung college? Anong mga pinagagawa niyo nung high school kayo? Meron ba kayong mga achievement nung high school kayo? I'm sure meron. Diba? Ano yung mga organizations sinalihan nyo? Maybe you'll remember because you only joined 1 or 2. Maybe. Diba? Pero ano yung mga iba pang mga bagay na nangyari all throughout the course of 4 or 5 years in the past? And these are the things that you want to put in your resume link. These are the things that you want to make sure na ma-market mong sarili mo mas effectively to the company, especially kung wala ka naman work experience or any internship or OJT experience. So, dyan ngayon nagkakaiba ang isang aplikante to another applicant. 'Di ba? So, wag mo na patagalin. Kung ngayon pa lang, whatever year ka ngayon, kung nasa freshman ka, nakikinig yung mga freshman or high school right now, or second year, third year, or fourth year, lalo na kung graduating ka na, huwag mo nang patagalin. Gumawa ka na ng resume link, at kung meron ka ng resume na nagawa, ilipat mo na lang lahat. Lipat na lang lahat ng mga information mo sa loob ng resume link nyo. And moving forward, pa nagkatrabaho na later on, nag-attend ng mga seminars, nagkaroon ng mga bagong skills na dagdag sa inyong sa development na inyong mga careers, ano gagawin mo? Ilagay mo lang na ilagay sa loob ng resume link. So para lang yan diary, kumbaga, kung panahon ng mga 70s, 80s, ang tawag dyan diary, isa araw-araw inilista yung mga nangyari. Ito hindi naman araw-araw. Every time na meron kang nagbabago sa inyong career o sa inyo pong skills, ilagay nyo po sa loob ng resume link nyo. Kung may certificate kayo nakuha, whether online certificate or actual certificate, picturean nyo, scan nyo, i-upload nyo dyan. Wala naman po itong limit sa space eh. 'Di ba? Ang kagandahan, anytime na kailangan mo, pwede mo siya gamitin. Pwede mo ngayon maibigay sa kung sino man gusto humingi ng profile ninyo. Ayos? Huwag na patagalin.
Okay, so thank you, Sir Kim. Follow-up question, dahil nabanggit mo yung seminars na pwede nilalagay seminars habang tumatagal. Ako kasi, sir, naging problem dun sa dati kong resume. Kasi tinadtad ko na puro seminar. So natabunan na yung ibang mga content. Anong masasabi mong advice para kay Robert of the past pagdating sa paglalagay ng seminar, pagpipili ng seminar, lalo na kapag habang tumatagal ka, habang nag-work ka, pwede rin madagdagan tong mga to.
Ang question nyo is ano mga seminars ilalagay? Tama ba, Sir Robert?
Yes, and if ma-recommend mo i-limit to a few or talagang lagay mo lahat, anong masasabi mo?
Okay. Ako ito masasabi ko, yung mga seminars, normally, these are just ano lang naman, sabi nga nung iba, pampakapal ng resume or pampahaba ng resume. Now, some HR will look at those seminars as your other ways to learn things, 'di ba? Kumbaga, hindi ka naman IT graduate. Palagyan natin example, tourism graduate ka, halimbawa. Pero nag-attend ka ng mga how to say make your website using Dreamweaver. Hindi ko alam kung ginagamit pa ba ngayon yan. Kasi noong mga panahon dati, hindi na alam ni Sir Robert. Back in the days, no? Mga programmer, baka natatawa na ngayon pa nakikinig sa akin. Mga panahon dati, may mga ganong klaseng mga app, or hindi man app, mga ganong klaseng software na ginagamit, no? To help make their own, mini websites and all that. So, if you're into, example lang, you're into, tourism. Diba? Walang connect sa'yo yung photography. Pero nag-attend ka ng photography seminars. Nag-attend ka ng culinary seminars. Nag-attend ka ng how to, do all these mga Microsoft Office na tools. Example lang, marunong ka mag-pivot sa Excel. Diba? Yan yung mga bagay na little things kahit walang connect sa course mo. But if you put it there because you attended that seminar and ang assumption dito, hindi ka lang nag-attend, natuto ka rin, syempre, di ba? Kasi baka tanungin ka nung interviewer mo about those seminars, make sure lang alam mo yung sinasabi mo. Kaya nga minsan sinasabi ko, kung kokopyahin mo rin lang naman yung seminars attended sa classmates mo, make sure alam mo rin yung pinag-usapan doon, alam mo yung dapat na i-deliver doon sa seminar na yon. Yun lang naman, no? Kasi ang dami talagang seminars right now. In fact, there's a lot of free seminars or webinars that you can attend to. And I recommend if you have certificates from these seminars, all the more that you should upload it there. No? Ngayon, wala naman tong limit sa space. Wag niyo naman punuin yung resume link niyo na mas marami pa yung seminars kaysa sa mga information about you. Diba? Baka naman pagbukas ng HR ng inyong resume link, wala na siyang nakita masyadong ano bang nangyari dito? Graduate and then finish na. Yun lang ang nangyari, no? Walang mga achievement, walang anything, pero puro seminars attended ang nilagay, no? And maybe yes, you can capitalize on those seminars that you've attended to by putting something na you put into action. 'Di ba? Kasi seminars nakinig ka. Ano ginawa mo after that? Example lang, 'di ba? Nakinig ka ng photography lessons. After that, anong ginawa mo? Wala. 'Di ba? Nakinig ka nag-attend ka ng culinary session. 8 sessions pa 'yan, 'di ba? Iba-iba niluto, iba-iba ang cuisine, iba-ibang menu, 'di ba? Ano ginawa mo after? Wala, kumain lang, no? And then ano yung kumbaga you have to put it into action. I think that's what HR people will be looking at, 'di ba? Yun yung mas importante, no? Ano na i-apply mo, ano na natutunan mo sa seminars na 'yan. 'Di ba? Hindi naman siya about kung ano lang sinalihan mo or pinakinggan mo. It's about ano yung take away mo. Yeah, that's my tip for you. So, well, to answer your question, Sir Robert, wala naman talaga tong limit sa dami, no, ng ilalagay mo. Except lang, you might want to focus on ano yung maibibigay mo doon sa kumpanya. Ano yung maiko-contribute mo from those seminars that you've attended to. O yan, that's my answer.
Okay, thank you, Sir Kim. So, patapos na tayo, Sir Kim, sa ating Q&A. I'd like to request lang na paalala mo sa ating mga viewers na ang importance ng paggamit ng valid email at ang pag-verify, lalo na sa email. Gusto ko na rin bring up para ma-remind mo ang ating viewers about using personal email and maybe not yung school email nila. Sige, sir, go ahead.
Alam nyo yung mga schools, just a reminder for everyone who's using or who use their school email to register for their resume link, paalala ko lang, wala naman pong mali doon. It's okay that you use an email. Basta make sure it's a valid email. Now, moving forward, I strongly recommend you edit it and change it to your personal email. Bakit? Because maraming scenarios before, ito yung mga lessons learned before, share ko na sa inyo. Huwag nyo nang gayahin. Nag-graduate na sila, nakalimutan nila i-update yung kanilang information. Ano nangyari? Hindi na sila nakaka-receive ng mga notification at ng mga invitation from companies as well as jobs.on80.com because the email that they use, they can no longer access. Kasi wala na, graduate na sila eh. Diba? So ang recommend ko, palitin mo na siya sa inyong personal email address para moving forward, kung ano mangyari, diba? Graduate ka na, nagtrabaho ka na, moving forward, no? May sarili ka ng buhay pamilya, nakaka-receive ka pa rin ng mga information, especially yung mga invitation from companies. Yan, 'di ba? So wala namang masama maka-receive ng invitation kahit may trabaho ka na, 'di ba? I see this only more positive than negative. Wala naman negative dito. So it's more positive, 'di ba? If you get more invitation. So yun ang recommend ko. Palitan niyo na po kung meron kayong ginagamit na school email address na pag-register sa resume link. Please edit it na rin to personal email. Okay? Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Sir Kim. I think enough naman na ang na-share natin at ang reminders natin sa ating mga viewers na gumawa ng resume link. So this ends our Q&A portion. So thank you very much. Mag-move na kami towards our second topic.
Okay, thank
sir.
you. Bye-bye. Be safe. Bye-bye.
Yes, sir. Okay, so as mentioned, diretso na tayo sa ating second topic. So our second topic is about the new normal world of work, and I'll be introducing our speaker. She's been with Cognizant for 6 years. Prior to Cognizant, she was a training, quality, recruitment, and performance consultant for various BPOs in the country, an HR learning and performance manager for a financial company, and training lead for the financial and technical business units of eTelecare International. I would like to welcome Ms. Janet Lee Hodloman, Deputy General Manager for Training Cognizant Academy, Cognizant Technology Solutions. Good morning, Ms. Janet.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
I'm glad to have you with us one of our webinars. So, Miss Janet, I was with you before sa isang mga previous webinars natin, and I'm glad to be able to talk to you again. So, later may Q&A tayo. So, I'll get more chances to talk to you, to ask questions about your presentation.
Okay, Robert.
So, let's try for your share screen.
Okay, hold on.
Sure. So while Miss Janet is sharing her screen, I'd like to once again encourage our viewers to type in your questions dyan sa ating comment box. I, of course, will be asking Miss Janet probably a few questions galing sa mga previous webinars that we've picked out na gusto namin na you'd be able to hear as well the answers since from a lot of our previous webinars, itong select questions na to we felt was very relevant depending on the topic nga, on the content. So if it fits yung content, we are very much happy to bring the question up para makita na ating mga viewers. Okay? So I hope that's clear sa ating mga viewers. So kapag nagtanong kayo dyan, we will be flashing it across the screen and we are actually looking forward na kita namin ang questions from you. And maybe if meron kaming ma-pick up na questions from you, baka yung questions nyo naman ang matanong ko sa ating future na webinars with other schools. Sige. Miss Janet, kamustahin ko lang po. How's our share screen doing on your
Are
end?
you able to see it now?
Not yet po, Miss Janet. So, it has
Okay.
loaded
Sorry,
yet.
I thought it was already there. Anyway,
Sige po, let's try it po again, the share screen. So, I'll notify you once it's up. So, right now, it's not loading pa po.
yeah,
Okay.
hold on.
Okay,
Sorry.
sure.
You know how it is. You know how it is in the new normal.
Yes, so teaser na to. This is a teaser for Miss Janet's presentation, part of the new normal, adjusting to using itong mga technology for everyone. Ako,
Yeah.
nahihirapan din ako sometimes. So, Miss Janet, it's up now. So,
Okay.
I'm sure you know what to do. I will be back for our Q&A and I will see you. Thank you.
Thank you, Robert. Hello, everyone. Again, good morning. My name is Janet Hodloman. Okay. And as Robert said, I am from Cognizant. Okay. So, and I am the Deputy General Manager for training. Okay. We call ourselves the Academy in Cognizant. Okay. And I'm very happy to be here again with all of you. Thank you, Jobs 180. Thank you, Kim, for inviting me again. Okay. And before I talk to you about how the work environment is in the new normal, let me first introduce Cognizant. Okay, so quick lang, one slider lang. Okay, so anyway, so we are a 10,000 employee company, more than 10,000. We reached 10,000 employees in 2020 actually, and we are one of the top BPOs in the country today. We've won some awards, and one of them is the 2020 Best Company of the Year. Okay, of course, we have been nominated every year and we won several other awards, but I just like to highlight that. And we do have a lot of partnerships. We do have several verticals, including healthcare, technology, retail, insurance, etc. And we are looking for people. Okay, I think that's the most important thing. Okay, so in case after this or maybe in the near future you want to try out the BPO, come to us and try our Cognizant workplace. All right. So today, anyway, I'm going to talk to you not just about Cognizant, but especially about how it is to work in the office or how work in general in the new normal. Okay. And I'm sure you know what that means when we talk about the new normal. Okay. So for now, let me start with the new normal reporting models. Okay, ano ba ang mga how do we now report to work? How do we now come to work? Okay, and I'm sure you're already familiar with this, but let me start with this. Okay, there are now two main options. Okay, you know this, right? You know, working on site. Okay, when we say working on site, of course, you report to the office if you have a physical office. Okay, like for us, we have offices in Pasig, in McKinley, in Quezon City, and in Cebu. So some of the people will be required, of course, to go to the office. Now, in some industries, especially factories, the food industry, of course, a lot of people are still required to report to the office or on site, whatever that site is, di ba? So let's say construction site yan. Syempre, dapat you can't build the building if you're not there, okay? So there are options. In other words, you can go to the office or go on site, or the other option is work remotely. Okay, almost all, if not all, industries and all corporations and organizations offer these two models. Okay, now when we say work remotely, the very common, of course, remote work model is work from home. Okay, and like what I'm doing now, I'm actually working from home. Okay, and what most of us are doing. But work from home, or rather, working remotely, does not only mean work from home. Like there are a lot of people who went to the provinces, who went on vacation in the recent weeks. Okay, brought their laptops with them. They can actually do that. So you're relaxing at the beach, okay, or you're having coffee at wherever, you can still work. Okay, it depends. Again, it depends on, of course, the security of the place that you're at. Okay, but these are just the main options. In other words, when you look for a job, you will most likely find this. These are the things that you can do, when you start working. All right. Now, what happened in the new normal when people start reporting to work? Okay, like when we started, the GCQ in 2020, of course, there were a lot of adjustments, several adjustments. Okay, there were new things. Of course, we still continued to do some of the old things, but there were a lot of changes. For one, if you're working on site, of course, you still have to follow the general protocol. Okay, and that is, okay, familiar ba kayo dyan sa nasa picture na yan? Diba? Everywhere you go, you have to fill out a contact tracing form. Now, for us, for example, in the office, before we even go to the office physically, if we are expected to go there, okay, you have to fill out an online form, okay? Or if you just happen to be scheduled anyway, and you go to the office without filling out an online form, you have to fill out an online, or rather a tracing form sheet, okay? So you have to do that. And this happens everywhere, not just for Cognizant. Again, this is very important because we want to make sure that people who come to work physically are safe. Okay, and people who are at work are also safe. Okay, depending on whoever else is there. Okay, so let's say we fill that out online. If you say yes to any of the questions, which means that you might have some of the minor symptoms, kahit sipon lang yan, kahit na medyo sore throat lang yan, automatically you will not be approved to come to the office, okay? Now, of course, this is a lot of people might use that as a reason if they want to stay home and not go to the office. It happens, but this is the new normal, okay? For everyone's protection, you have to first, fill out that form so that you will be allowed to even enter the building, okay? So that's one of the new things that's happening now. Of course, this is also something that we all know, right? We all need to wear our masks and our face shields. Now, you might say, paano yan, call center or BPO? You have to be on the phones. You have to be talking to someone over the phone. Yes, we still need to keep wearing our mask and our face shield. Okay. Of course, we encourage people to speak louder, to speak a little bit clearer, open their mouths, enunciate, especially because understandability is very important. But unfortunately, this is something that we are very strict with. We want to make sure that everyone in the company, if you're inside the office or working on site, we want to make sure that everyone is safe and continue to follow the general protocol. Okay. And this also happens in most, if not all, of the other organizations that allow or that even require their employees to come to the office. Okay. So, of course, maraming pasaway. Okay. A lot of people would say, nasa loob naman ako ng office. Excuse me. Kami-kami lang naman. Okay. It happens, but that is something that we do not encourage. Okay. Again, for everyone's safety. And the usual social distancing. Okay, so there were a lot of changes in the office, if you can see the picture there. So we had to reorganize the way we work, especially the workplace, our workstations. Now we have to sit one seat apart, okay, at least 2 meters apart from each other, and we are not able to, work in front of another person. So it has to be alternate. But in reality, for example, for me, for us in Cognizant, there are instances when you're just one person in one big room. Okay. Again, because our work, if you go to the office, you are supposed to schedule that. Okay. So that we are able to manage the number of people who go to the office or who come to the office. Okay. So, of course, if there are more than 20 people, then we have a large room that can actually hold 100 people, right? Especially in operations. Usually the maximum capacity is the normal capacity would be like more than 200 or 300 or 400. We can only use 30% of that. Okay, so even before they announced the GCQ, okay, which starts today, right? Okay, we still follow that again because we prioritize the safety of our employees. Okay, so this is these are just a few of the new things that we now implement when we work inside the office or when we work on site. Okay. Now, there were a lot of other things that changed. Sobrang dami. Like me, for example, I've been working for a long time. This is really new. Okay. So, for example, when we talk about lunch breaks, okay, when we go to to the pantry or even go out to eat, normal sa mga Pilipino na, let's go out as a group. You bring your friends along, or you go out with your friends, or you go have lunch in the pantry with your friends or in the cafeteria. And this is the usual picture that you will see, right? You'll have your concessionaire with all the food there in front of you, and you have your cashier. You go there, you pick your food, you pay at the cashier, you go back to your table and you eat with your friends. That was the old normal. Now you can't do that. Okay, at least for us, we don't allow that. Okay, number one, no group dining. Meaning, if in the past we have huge tables where people gather to eat together, we have arranged our pantry in such a way that you only have one small table and one chair. And then each of those tables are at least a meter or 2 meters apart. Ganon, okay? Now, of course, you can still go to the pantry as a group, but you cannot sit together, okay? And you have to take one table each, one chair each, which is, far apart from each other. And of course, you're allowed to take off your mask and your shield while you're eating, okay? But there is a guard standing, at the door and, watching people and checking if they put their mask immediately after eating, okay? So we're very, very strict with that. And of course, we don't have the usual concessionaire anymore. The typical turo-turo, right? Where you have your glass counter and you look for the viand or the ulam that you want. Now, everything is pre-ordered, okay, at least for us. And we encourage our people to bring their own food, bring baon. Okay, that's safer. Now, if you happen to, order food from our concessionaire or from outside, okay, you cannot bring the food in unless it's really, tightly sealed. Okay. Now, in our case, we still have the concessionaire, but we pre-order. So if you're scheduled to come to the office tomorrow, you have to order your food a day in advance. Okay. And the food will be there for your lunch break. Or if you want to order merienda, you can also do that. And the food comes at the specified time. It's brought by the concessionaire, and they're all either in the fridge or on the table, okay, in the pantry, and they're all just packed, okay, and you're supposed to get them immediately and not keep them there for a long time, okay, again, for the safety of everyone. Now, breaks are scheduled, okay. You would say, dati pa namang scheduled ang break, di ba? You have your lunch break. If you're on a regular day shift, usually 12 o'clock lunch until 1 p.m., that's fine. Now, yes, similar to that, but it's staggered. So let's say, for example, you come in at 9 a.m., your usual lunch break is at 12. Now, what happens is if there are like 30 people who are in the office, now it has to be staggered. Not all 30 can have their 12 noon break. Okay, so we'll probably have like 5 people take their break for the first 30 minutes or earlier, maybe about around 11:30 to 12. Another group of 5 from 12 to 12:30, and so on and so forth. So this way we can manage the number of people inside the pantry. Okay, and again, although we have huge pantries in all of the Cognizant sites, at the same time, we also have several projects or several accounts. Okay, so if you imagine, you might say, oh, there are only 10 people reporting in this account. They can all have lunch together. But there are other accounts who will be having their lunch as well. So we need to manage the number of people, right? Taking their breaks, going to the pantry, or going around the office, right? So we need to do that. All breaks are scheduled and staggered. So that really is something new, okay, when we started the new normal. We started doing that last year. So everything was planned out properly and implemented properly as well. Now, a lot of other organizations, of course, do that. Now, what are the other things that changed in the new normal? Okay. Now, of course, this is something that's not new to you. Everything is virtual interface, just like what's happening now. I'm talking to you virtually. Okay. Now, even if, we have people who are required to go to the office, Our meeting rooms are no longer the usual meeting rooms. Okay, we probably have one person who is facilitating the meeting in that room, while all the other people who are attending the meeting are attending it virtually. Again, because we discourage people to be in one small room, uh, you know, uh, usually accommodating, let's say 20 people. Now we can only have like two, three, four, maximum of five people in that room, and we encourage people to just join virtually. In the past, we have client visits, client presentations, or okay, and I'm sure even for other industries this happens, right? Now, we don't do that physically anymore. Clients do not come to the office face to face and we treat them for lunch or dinner. It doesn't happen that way anymore. Everything is virtual. Okay, so we can constantly, rather, talk to our clients. We have meetings, regular meetings, but they're not expected to visit us anymore. So everything is virtual. Okay, that includes, of course, training, and I'm part of training. Okay, in the past, everything was blended. When I say blended, you already have a mix of classroom training or instructor led training, and now we have what we call e learning. Okay, and we also used to have that anyway. And then we have the VILT, or virtual instruction led or instructor led training. VILT. That's what we're doing now. All of our new hire training happens online. Okay, because you're a new hire, let's say we hired you last week, you start your training today or on a Monday, you probably will not have all the equipment yet, but you can join the training using your cell phones. Okay, and we send you the link and you can do that. Okay. But of course, especially when we started the ECQ last year, unfortunately, for most companies, it's very expensive because we have to give everyone their laptops or their desktops so that they can work from home. And that was a very tedious process, but it happened. And until now, even for our new hires who are not expected to come to the office, okay, they are issued laptops because, again, everything is done virtually. Okay. But as I said, it's not for everyone. We do have clients that will require people to still be in the office. Why is that? Because of this data security. Okay. Especially for banks, for financial institutions, or even government offices, there are things that you just cannot let go of, especially if it has to do with data security. To keep the security of information, for example, of our clients, there are some accounts that will not allow people to work from home. That's why we still have a lot of people, or not a lot, but a handful of people really working in the office. Because it happens that when you're using a different IP address, when you're in a different location, of course, you're using a different Wi-Fi connection. Okay, it is easier for hackers to come in and um, look into your files, or maybe even delete or even edit your files. So that's one of the major concerns, one of the major issues that we are dealing with now, not just in the Philippines, but all over the world, because people are working from home, people are working off-site in many different parts of the world, right? And data security is sometimes at risk. Okay, so now we are more strict when it comes to dealing with data and information. Okay, so we have additional what protocols and what do you call that, mm, whatever you call it, anyway, to protect data. Okay, now another thing that changed is, of course, the benefits of employees. HMO, that's health. Okay, in the past, we didn't have anything like, RT-PCR testing or antigen testing. We didn't have anything like vaccination, especially for COVID. We did have, the usual flu vaccination, or even, other types of vaccination. But now there are many other requirements. Okay, when it comes to HMO, a lot of companies are really, spending a lot of money, because especially, for example, if you need to come to the office, many organizations will not allow you to come to the office unless you take a swab test. Okay, it could be an antigen test, it could be an RT-PCR test, it could be a blood test or saliva, whatever it is. Okay, many organizations do that. Few days before you go, you're expected to report to the office. You have to have that. And you know that even for showbiz people, right? They're all required to do that before they even come together for a shoot. Okay, so everything is different. Okay, and that's also more expensive for for employers, right? And then of course there's this issue about the vaccine. This is again something new. A lot of organizations, even us now, we're looking at offering free vaccines to our employees. Okay, so that is something that's added to at least the health or the HMO benefits of our employees. The other benefits might will include, at least I'm speaking for Cognizant. Now, of course, we offer more shuttle services, that is, or even transportation, or even internet allowance for everyone, because for the people who are working from home, that's an additional expense, right? So there were a lot of things added to the usual package of the employees. That is something new. Of course, for some people, they might say, well, that's good for the employees. Yes, it is, but it's not always good, because if it's bad for the employer, if it's, entails a lot of expenses, it's also not good for the whole organization, including the employees. Okay, but these are the facts. Okay, these are the things that are happening now. Okay, now, the other thing that has changed, okay, or at least areas where you will see changes, will be infrastructure, meaning the physical infrastructure, or meaning the offices itself, the buildings themselves, and the processes. Okay, as I mentioned, companies now spent a lot of money fixing their office, yeah, so that it can accommodate the changes. So as I said, even in the past, you can sit together, right? You don't really need to distance yourself from each other. Now we need to fix the office in such a way that we don't do that. You want to make sure that the seats rather are apart from each other. Okay, and of course changes in terms of hands-free water dispenser, or you have more alcohol dispensers all over the place, and all that. There are a lot of changes in the infrastructure, and again, even for, as I said, data security, right? Computers and all that, servers and all that. There are a lot of changes. Processes, okay, there are a lot of processes that are implemented recently. One of them, as I said earlier, would be um, you have to have permission to come to the office. You have to be scheduled. You have to fill out forms. Okay, you have to do certain tests, etc., before you're allowed to go to the office, and many other things. And I'm sure for other industries, there are a lot more changes, not just in terms of infrastructure, but also in terms of the processes and the policies. So these are just a few of the things that you will encounter and that you might expect if and when you start working, guys. Okay, and I'm sure your family members who are working right now can also share some of the new things that they are experiencing. And as I said, there will be many other different changes depending on the industry that you're working at, depending on the type of work that you do, but these are the general changes. Okay, now what are some advantages and disadvantages? Okay, for work from home, options, of course, less travel, less stress, less expenses, right? And again, that's good. That's an advantage. Okay, but on the other hand, some people would say higher utility bills. Of course, especially now that it's summer, right? If in the office it's all air conditioned, but if you're working from home, of course, it's going to be warm. And if you have your laptops or your computers with you, sometimes they would bog down because of the heat. So you need to have air conditioning. Okay, if you used to just use your air conditioners in the evening, now, especially during the summer, you might be using it 24 hours. Okay, and maybe if you don't have an air conditioner, you might want to invest on additional electric fan, okay, or a fan for your computer so that it doesn't overheat. Okay, that's additional cost, and it's also higher cost for the organization. Imagine you have huge buildings that are empty, right? Um, it's not in full capacity, and we are still paying our employees, but the buildings are empty. Okay, and of course, as I said, there are changes in the package, in the HMO, etc. So it's also higher expense for the organization. At the same time, more requirements in terms of technology. Like now, I'm working from home, right? I need to have a strong Wi-Fi. I need to have, proper computer, proper software and hardware for me to be able to do my job. So it's the same thing. Even if you have a phone, you have to make sure that you have enough load if you're doing, prepaid, right? Especially if you need to attend meetings. There are a lot of technological requirements, which could be a disadvantage as well, right? Because again, it has to do with cost, expenses. Okay. Now, another advantage or another set of advantages would be your flexible, personalized workstation. So let's say, I want to work in the bedroom, but of course, you don't want to work on the bed. You want to, prep your table. You can design it the way you want it. Okay. Flexible working hours for some, not for all. Okay. Like in my case, I've always been flexi. In the BPO, many people are doing flexi time, but it's more flexible now. Okay. You don't have to have your lunch at noon. Sometimes it depends on you when you want to eat. You can actually eat while you're in a meeting. So everything is flexible. Okay. For most people, they'd say we have more time for the family or with the family, which is true because you're home, right? So your kids can sit beside you while you're working. Your mom, your dad, they're just there physically. Okay, so more time for personal stuff. Okay, like in my case, while I'm working, sometimes I exercise. Okay, I can do that. I can listen to loud music because I'm not in the office, I'm in my room. So there are a lot of things that you can do. And you can also attend some online classes. There are a lot of online classes that are happening now for self development. In the past, when you're in the office, you cannot just access any site because there are restrictions. But if you're at home, if you want to learn new things, you can do that. Okay, but of course, there will still be restrictions. Okay, now other disadvantages would be um, no specific hours. As I said earlier, advantage kung flexible, but at the same time, disadvantage din siya. Because if you're not, you're not able to control that, tendency is for you to be lax. Okay, you will not be able to finish your work on time. Tendency is for you to sleep, okay, or maybe do other stuff and forget about what you're supposed to be doing. So it's a difficult way to manage your task and your time. Okay, there are a lot of other distractions, especially if your kids are around, or if you have younger brothers and sisters, or your kapitbahay is what singing, okay, with a loud microphone. Okay, so there are a lot of distractions, or dogs barking. Okay, so that's one disadvantage. Less human interaction nowadays. It's whether you work in the office or work from home, there really is no physical human interaction anymore, which is not good. We sometimes need that. We need to be able to physically see the people that we're talking to. We need to be able to talk to them face to face. Although face to face, virtual face to face is possible, but it's still different. Okay. And in some cases, especially when we talk about coaching, like in our case, when we do coaching, or when we do listening or call listening, call audits, it's always important for us to be there. Okay. So it's very difficult, especially if you're a manager, you want to be able to manage your team. And to do that, it's easier if you're there in one room. But now, they're all in their homes and you don't know what they're doing. Okay. So it's quite challenging. And of course, sedentary lifestyle for some. As I said, for some people, they take advantage of the fact that they're working from home. They do a lot of exercising. But on the other hand, for some people, they're actually more sedentary. They sit at their tables, what, more than 12 hours a day. They don't stand up and join the family for lunch or dinner anymore. They eat there, okay? So they have all the food in front of them and they just munch on them uh, for the whole duration of the shift. So it's not also healthy, okay? Plus the fact that everything now is unstable. Okay, the industry is unstable. All of the other industries, for that matter, the economy is unstable. Um, your jobs, our jobs, are also unstable because, again, the companies can only spend as much, but will not, might not be able to maintain all of the additional expenses that the new normal is, offering. Okay, so there are a lot of organizations that have closed down, unfortunately. A lot of companies that are slowly what wrapping up, but lucky for us at Cognizant, and even for most of the BPOs, we're actually doing very well. Okay, but still, this is the reality. Okay, most other organizations are a bit unstable. Okay, so there are a lot of things that happened in the new normal, especially for us who've been working for some time now. These are very drastic changes. Okay, but come to think of it, you know what? In my opinion, especially for you guys who are still in school, okay, and you start working, this is not the new normal. This is the new generation's normal. Okay, in other words, this is your normal. Okay, when you come to work, when you become part of the workforce, this is what you will find. Okay, and this becomes your normal. Hopefully, it doesn't stay that way for a long time. Hopefully, we can all go back to the old normal. Okay, so that that will also be your normal. But as it is right now, this is reality. This is where we are, and this is what's happening. So that's just a bit of information for everyone. There are a lot of articles, blogs, or even vlogs about what's happening in the world right now, especially how people are working in the new normal. So I would suggest that you read up, okay, so that you are prepared when you step out of your comfort zones, okay? All right, so that's it for me. If you have questions, I'm ready.
Thank you, Miss Janet.
Mhm.
So I have a few questions for you, and well, I'll start things off. You mentioned earlier about online training. You mentioned the materials that you use. I've been listening to uh, how you do it for new hires. I was wondering if is it possible to have online team building activities, and if so, are you doing something like this for your employees?
Yes, that's a very good question. Yes, we are. In fact, for my team, and even in the past, we have regular monthly meetings. If in the past we've been doing that, as a group in different places, we go out and eat.
Mm.
Now that virtually, okay, and we have food delivered to everyone. Okay, I have one person from my team who is in Laguna, and we make sure that they also get food when we do have meetings. And just recently also we had like town halls. All of the employees of Cognizant, and even during the Christmas um, event. Okay, we delivered food to everyone, even to the remote parts of the country. Okay, yes, we're able to do that. We're able to do things virtually. In fact, I think we're more active online now. We do have a lot of online activities just to make sure that people are engaged all the time.
Okay, thank you, Miss Janet. It's good to know for our viewers that, well, there are still efforts yun nga para to build the team. So, like yung sample ni Miss Janet,
Mm.
yung Zoom online meeting, sending the food. I'm guessing same food for everyone, kahit san ka man. They make
Yeah.
an effort. I don't know
Effort
how.
talaga.
So, Miss Janet, what about yung activities for health naman? Health-related activities. I'm sure I've heard that companies like Cognizant, they used to have activities for health of the employees. What about now? Are you still able to do this virtually?
Of course. Well, not necessarily virtually. Like we always have our APE or annual physical exam. Just
Mm-hmm.
recently we had that, and we sent out a survey to everyone, and we have a list of clinics that they can go to if they can't come to the office. In the past, we used to have our annual physical exam in the office. So we have the doctors there, the nurses, and even the x-ray machines. So it's all there. So the blood test and everything, ECG, we do that in the office. But now, what we did was, okay, we had this online survey. So we asked people, okay, to choose the nearest clinic that they can go to, and they can do their APE there. And for those who want to go to the office, we still have the same facility in the office where they can have the usual APE. Now, for the other activities, for example, when it comes to health, we do have a partner, okay, and we have regular seminars concerning, what's new, how to take care of yourself, how to
Mm-hmm.
handle, let's say, stress or depression or, things like that, how to exercise, things like that. We have that on a regular basis, which is part of the engagement activities that we do.
Thank you, Miss Janet. I'd like to point out some of the things from your answer. Number one, to our viewers, Miss Janet mentioned something about online survey. So this is something that companies do to help you to help them help you better. So be aware of that. Make sure kapag may online surveys, take the opportunity to answer. Yan na nga eh. Meron na nga kayong input. And also, apart from that, meron yung mental health na Ms. Janice mentioned. So there's something that's given more weight even before, but I guess even more so now. So
Yeah.
that's something you can look forward to. Companies like Cognizant kung nasan si Miss Janet. Okay, so Miss Janet, earlier, of course, one of the topics, working from home, automatic, just looking at the topic, everyone's expecting na pag-usapan natin ang working from home.
Mm.
How do you track if those working from home are actually working?
Mhm.
Hmm.
That's another very good question. In the past naman kasi, even for BPOs, we always had that option, okay? Some people are allowed to work from home. You have your daily tasks, right? Especially for agents, of course. For agents, it's easy because you log in and you log out. You have what we call, I forgot the term, but your time, you have to log in your time, and even for breaks. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so you have to do that physically on your computer, or even you can use your cell phones. That's one. The other fact is for non-operations, meaning non-agents like us, for support, we have our daily tasks anyway, and we just want to make sure, and we trust our people, that as long as you finish your daily task and you attend meetings and you do that, then you're physically there, you're able to do your job on a daily basis. It's not a matter of being on in front of your computer for 12 hours, or it's not like that. The most important thing is for you to finish what you're supposed to finish for the day, and attend to what you're supposed to attend to during the day. That's most important, at least for support. Okay. But yes, we can manage, and we can actually tell when people are working again, because we do give them tasks to do.
Okay, thank you, Miss Janet. So, to our viewers, if ever you will be in a work from home setup, again, there you are trusted to deliver. Wag niyo na break yung trust, baka mahirapan pa kayo. Yan na nga. You're already given this opportunity. Hindi na
Mm,
kailangan umupo sa tapat ng computer ng 8 to 12 hours. So, we don't want that. So,
mm.
if ever nga, if you have deliverables, make sure na you deliver sa inyong mga companies, whether sa Cognizant or other companies. Sige.
True.
Miss Janet, from
Mm,
before, I'm sure na meron na kayong efforts like late 2020 or
mm.
mid 2020 until now. How different is it na when it comes to your arrangement for working sa inyong employees?
Well, I mentioned some of the differences earlier. Um, well, one of the main differences, of course, is the fact that, especially for new hires, because my team takes care of training for new hires. Okay, there are a lot of challenges, especially in terms of technology. Kasi, di ba, as I said, when you're a new hire and you're expected to work from home after your orientation or even during your training, usually you don't have the facility. Eh. You don't have your computer, you don't have your, all the requirements. And it's something that Cognizant has to take care of even before you start training with us. Okay, so that's a challenge. So even pre-employment, inaayos na namin yung kakailanganin ninyo. Okay, so we prepare for everything you need. So I guess that's one major change. There is a lot of preparation, especially for when it comes to hiring, when it comes to onboarding people. Okay, and transitioning because we hire remotely. We hire people now. We have a group of people in Bataan. We hired them in Bataan. We trained them in Bataan, all remotely. But at some point, we invited them over. So we are exploring many other things. I think what's good is that the new normal has taught a lot of organizations, not just Cognizant, that working remotely is not bad at all. It's possible, right? And it's also effective and it's convenient. Okay, so I think yes, that opportunity is something that we are now what maintaining. Okay, it's
Mm-hmm.
it has become really the norm. Okay, people can actually work away from the office, and in the future, I think it's going to be also really the norm.
Hmm. So actually, that's a good point. Dahil nga napakita na it can be successful, can be maintained, maybe some of the jobs that usually we do sa office might consider nga na other companies to do it, work from home as well. Okay,
Yes.
Miss. Unfortunately, this ends our portion of our Q&A. So for those who would want to learn more about yung company ni Miss Janet, please go to jobs180.com slash cognizant ph. Yan siya. You could check your screen right now dun sa ilalim. That's jobs180.com slash cognizant ph. Okay, thank you, Miss Janet. I hope to see you again in our future webinars.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, so that was our second topic. Move on na tayo sa ating third and last topic. So this topic is about guide to achieve financial freedom. I would now introduce our speaker. She works with a group of dynamic and diverse individuals from strategic resources in Manila and globally focusing on facilities, real estate project management, transportation, and government requirements supporting the business needs 24/7. Their goal is to have an agile approach, timely and effective employee assistance. Let's welcome Ms. Mara Garcia Morales, Strategic Resources Facilities of FactSet. Good morning, Ms.
Good
Mara.
morning. Good
Yes.
morning. First and foremost, I want to thank you, Mr. Palomar. You're doing a good job hosting this event for the students, I believe, and also not just students, right? There's also people who are working, basically just looking for a job, right? So, good morning. Is it okay if I share my screen?
Go ahead, Ms. Mara. So you could start sharing your screen. And well, thank you for joining us today. I believe first time natin magkita ever.
Oh
So I'm
yeah,
glad.
it's my
So kahit sana
pleasure.
sa future, we would have you again. May chance
It's my
ako to
pleasure.
speak with you again.
It,
So, Miss Mara, I could already see your screen, naka full screen na, your video's fine,
okay,
audio's okay. So, I'll be backstage and back na lang for our Q&A. Thank you very much.
okay, perfect, perfect. So hold on. Can you just double check that it's showing up well now?
Yes. Actually, nung pag-alis ko, Miss Mara, nawala siya sa full screen and
Okay.
then pagbalik
So how
ko, full
about
screen na
now?
ulit right now. So, right
How about
now, it's
now?
full screen. Yes. Okay.
Okay, great, great,
Again, I'll
great.
go backstage and see you later.
Yes. Thank you, Sir Palomar. First and foremost, I wanna thank my fellow interviews or fellow guest this morning, Mr. Chua. Thank you for this. You are doing a good job. Miss Guevara, really, you are truly inspiring, and Miss Hudloman. We are, I believe, magkapit-bahay here. And this morning, I'm going to be sharing about our company and about financial freedom. Okay. So, again, I am Mara Garcia Morales. And this morning, I just want to introduce to you quickly who we are and, hold on. I'm losing the screen. Is that really how it is? Sorry.
Hello, ma'am. Right now, we could see your notes again. Although earlier, nag-full screen na siya. So, let's try again. Right now, again, full screen po tayo right now. And
Okay.
then, testing po natin siguro mag-change ng slide before I go backstage again.
There you go. Can I see it?
No,
Can
na
you
wala
see it?
siyang full screen. Ito nabalik po ngayon. What I am seeing is your presentation.
Okay. Hold on.
Sure, no problem. So sa ating mga viewers, I could see na nag-comment kayo ng inyong name, course, and year of graduation, which I asked na gawin nyo earlier today. So thank you very much for listening and for following our request. So if may questions kayo, once again, type nyo lang dyan sa comment box. Tanong ko kay Miss Mara later on. Okay. Miss Mara, I'm looking at the screen. Naka-full screen siya again. So, pero nawawala siya from full screen from
Oh,
time
wala
to
siya.
time.
Hmm.
Mm-mm.
So like what I said nga, it's the technology, you know? You have
Yes,
to,
kasama talaga sa
yes, you
adjustment
have to
natin.
really be adapt
Mm.
in the technology that there is. Okay, so wait. Okay, what I'll do is I'll reshare. Is that working fine now?
It is right now.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so let's
Okay.
go.
Miss Mara, try natin mag-change slides before ako umalis again.
Okay, sige. I'll do that. Is that fine?
Yeah. Okay. So I think we're
Okay,
good.
perfect.
So I'll see you
Yes.
later again for our Q&A.
Thank you
Thank you.
so much. Thank you so much. So, good morning, everyone. So, I am Mara Garcia Morales, and I am from FactSet Philippines. What I currently do is I'm a regional facilities manager for Manila and Asia Pacific. And I guess when you are dealing with applications, or when you are dealing with life, you have to ask or know the answers to these important questions. So, who, what, where, and why. And these are very basic. These are things that we learn when we are in school. At least for me, I don't know how long I have been out of school. So don't ask about my age. But who am I? So again, I mentioned who I'm already. What I do is Mr. Palomar did a very thorough explanation or introduction for me. But I have been with FactSet for almost 10 years, almost 11 years already. And if you notice the photo on top, it's a FactSet Women's BRG. And aside from being the regional facilities manager for Manila and Asia Pacific, I also am a co-chair for the FactSet Women's BRG. What is a BRG? Basically, a business resource group focused on women. And we have a lot of other BRGs. So don't feel that you're left behind. We have various BRGs, Black BRGs, men's BRGs, Latinx, and Pride BRG. So FactSet really focuses on that. In FactSet, what we do is we acknowledge that there is a positive impact whenever we have gender diversity, and that we also encourage people to innovate, and we also strive to attract, retain, and develop, grow talented women in the BRG in the organization through professional development, networking, and educational programming. So that's one of my roles here in FactSet. Like what I mentioned, magkapit-bahay kami ng Hadloman. We are from Bonifacio Global City here in McKinley West. And this morning, why am I here in front of you? Basically, I was asked to speak about financial freedom. And I believe this is something that is relevant to all of us. But before we proceed with that, I want to let you know what FactSet is, or who are we. What we do is basically we collect data, we have analytics, and we help investment professionals make the best investment decisions. We have 45 offices across 20 countries, and we have 10,000 employees or more to date. In FactSet, we value diversity, and diversity inclusion is one of our strengths. And we believe that our people are our greatest assets. Also, our leaders have emphasized that the best ideas can come from anyone, anywhere, and at any time. So, with our multicultural, multi office setup, diversity is something that we take at heart. What we do, we have an end to end solution for investment bankers or anyone that is in the finance industry. We provide content collection, software engineering, and service and support. All right. So what we mentioned is that we are located in Bonifacio Global City in McKinley West, and through the pandemic, actually, we were able to complete our new office, our new tower, and here we will be consolidating all our employees. We used to be in other parts of Bonifacio Global City, but now we are back. We are in one home. But like what Miss Hodloman mentioned, we are working from home. Majority of our fellow employees are working from home, and we do have a number of skeletal workforce working on site. All right. So about that, let's go to the topic that we will discuss this morning. So we were talking about financial freedom. And financial freedom is something that is relevant to all of us, right? I guess this is one of the goals, if I may say, of people whenever they work or whenever they're earning something. And we want to have freedom on how we spend, on how we would earn money, but we have to really know what it is about. And in fact, we value research, we value going through facts, but at the same time, we also make sure that it's relevant to all of us. So first and foremost, what is freedom? So you guys in the Facebook stream or whoever is watching, I don't know, maybe you can engage. Engagement is very important. You have ask yourself, what is freedom? Mr. Palomar, I know you're back in the backstage, but it'd be good. Ask yourself, what is freedom? But as we define it, it's the power or right to act, speak, think as one wants, without hindrance or restraint. We have to know what it is, so we would be able to do what we are envisioning to do. So let me tell you something about how I handled financial freedom. So I'm not sure if you guys are already still in school, you are still in school, or you already graduated, or you have been out of the school for a long time already and you're just looking for another job. But in whatever, I believe everyone has a certain stage in their life, right? And with me, I'm just gonna share to you 3 stages that I think I truly found significant for me. First is right after graduation. So if you can engage in the chat room, and maybe we can see it later, Mr. Palomar, is that how many of you are already graduated? You've graduated last year, or you're awaiting your graduation this year. You can raise your hand. I don't know, maybe all those emojis. Okay. That's one thing that I know you are very good at. But with me, right after graduation, I was fortunate enough to be able to work right away. What I did was I actually looked at my skills. And that's why I agree with what Mr. Chua mentioned, that you have to market yourself. You have to know what your capabilities are, what you know, what you can do. It doesn't always have to be related with what you finished, right? You have to know the skills. And you wouldn't realize a company actually needs that specific skill that you have. So right after graduation, I worked. And that was a long time ago. Please do not ask how old I am, okay? But when I started working, my initial reaction was I spent. Okay, so how many of you can relate? Okay, so I don't know if you can relate to what I'm saying, but um, y- sometimes when we first earn or when we get our first paycheck, ayan, talaga in the old office setup, which I believe we will be getting back din naman. But in our Filipino way, when you get your first paycheck, di ba, parang sometimes people will ask you, make me libre naman, or di ba? Or parang magpakain ka naman, ganyan. But when I first got my paycheck, I spent. Because I was not able to, get a lot of the, say, luxuries in life before I started working. So when I got the opportunity to work, okay, and cash right away ang check. Okay, and I enjoyed. No, but there's, really, you have to enjoy the fruits of your labor. So, why did I share this with you? First and foremost, you have to know the reason why you are working. Don't just work because you're compelled to do so. It's good that you would know why do you do things. That's why I started with the important questions, right? Why are you working? And at that time, I worked as I was single. I helped my mother, and it was to help out with the house bills as well. But at the same time, I also wanted to enjoy the fruits of my labor. So that's what I did. At even if I was earning not so much, sa tagal na ng panahon na yan, I can't even remember my first paycheck. But I know with whatever I had, I was happy. And that I believe is first and foremost freedom. You are happy with what you are getting. You're able to spend it in the avenues that you'd want to spend it to. Okay, so I hope you are getting something again. So let's go through the next one. Now, in my early late 20s, sabi mo na early late, talagang early and late, no? But yeah, because I graduated early 20s, of course, so I started working, and then towards my late 20s, I started to realize the value of budgeting. Okay, so in VaxHet, we do a lot of research, we deal a lot with numbers, and I've never, I'm not the type of person who can really compute mentally, but I am very good with a calculator. Okay, so and Excel. So that's a skill, guys. So again, so what I did was I budgeted. Okay, so I looked at my current expenses or what I need to spend on. All right. So what do you do now, as early as now, even if you just graduated or you're still in school or you're off the school for quite a number of years already, regardless of the number of years that you have, budgeting is very important. Why? When you talk about budgeting, it's not just computing what you spend. It's actually knowing why you spend on something, what do you want to spend on, and how much you can allocate for that certain expenditure, right? So let's say you can assess. There's a lot of applications now. If you're holding an iPhone, an Android, a Cherry Mobile, whatever it is, right? Whatever gadget that you have, there's always an application that will help you in budgeting. All right. So when you do that, list down, di ba? Alam mo yung, I pray that I am speaking across ages, but before, we used to do it in notebooks. Okay, I still have a lot of friends who do it by notebooks. Some do it by envelopes, diba? What they would do is like they put Meralco, yan, water bill, things like that, and they would write down the certain expense and put a certain amount inside that envelope. Some do the accordion envelope, and some do the applications. Me, I used to like the envelopes, but there was just a lot of envelopes to carry. So now I like the online budgeting. I like my money online, and then I just transfer or pay accordingly. But before I even do that, I already have a budget. I love Excel. That's a skill. Okay, Mr. Chua, I'm listening to you. So I love Excel. And what I do is I write down everything that I need to spend for. That's very important. That's good stewardship, guys. And that will help you in your building your career as well. Now, if you were listening, I mentioned that budgeting is not just calculating or computing what you are already spending. Because if you are just doing that, then you're just listing down your spend. Budgeting is basically projecting what you want to spend on, how much money you can allocate, and also how much you want to save. All right. Something that I learned through the years is saving is something that you consider as an expense. All right. Some people have it the wrong way. What they do is they spend, 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 and then whatever is left, that's what they save. And this is a tip from a young person like me. I hope you can. I'm just pretending that I am young, although I think young and I look young. So I hope you guys are also, you're able to relate. But, you know, you can save as little as, I don't know, 50 pesos, 100 pesos. It doesn't matter. You can go as far as thousands that you save. But you know, when I was younger, in my late 20s, okay, I started saving, I think I started what, 100, 500. But again, that was my time before, you know. I just saved little by little. And I considered the savings as part of my expense. I did not save after the fact that I've already spent my entire earnings. What I would do is when I would budget, I would allocate certain specific amounts per month to this specific expense. And I would also put savings in one of those lines. Let's say I want to reach 1,000 in 10 months. So that's the amount of money that I would be saving for every month. That's just an example. All right. So when you earn, guys, going back to my first slide, first know why you are why you are working, what is the purpose of you working, and then you enjoy it. You know, don't be stingy with yourself. You know, you only live once as well. Be able naman to enjoy. In fact, that we value work-life balance. So be able to balance your work and your earnings and your spend. But don't forget to budget. If you know where your money is going to, you will have more freedom to assess where you stand financially. Next, you save. Doesn't matter how early or how young you are, you save. All right? And then again, I maintain there. I enjoy. Regardless of the amount that I had to spend, I also put an amount on how much I want to save. And lastly, I also put an amount on how much I want to spend on luxury. Maybe travel, or maybe, maybe you want to eat out, but now no more muna, okay? Okay, konting tiis na lang, guys, okay? But before, when the cinemas were still open, I loved watching movies. And, watching movies isn't cheap. So, of course, manood ka ng movie, you'd have to get your popcorn, diba? Your taters and all like that. So, also put it in your budget. Note naman din, don't limit yourself also on the expense that you want to spend for yourself. If you want to learn about culture, if you like traveling and meeting new people, discovering new things, that's okay. But set aside for that. All right. So that's my second phase. Now, the third phase was my early 30s. Okay, yan. So I hope you are doing if you're good in math or you're good in analysis, you'd be able to analyze how old I am. Okay, so my early 30s, it was, I really had I can say a life-changing experience. I'm actually a single I'm a one child, an only daughter raised by a single mother. Ah, di ba? Mahilig ako sa one. Okay. So I only have one child also. Okay. And then so I was an only daughter raised by a single mom, but unfortunately my mother passed away early 30s and during my early 30s. And it was a turning point for me on how I think. Actually, she taught me legacy. Ang aga naman, 30 years old, you would be talking about legacy. Normally, our culture would teach about legacy when you're already, what, 50s, 60s, or towards your retirement. But you know what? There's a good value that my mother taught me. It was that she left me with a good legacy. And my mom would always save. She would save. Although she's not into the modern ways of saving, she's not the type that would go to the bank and deposit. She would just keep it in, small boxes like that. But she would save and she left something for me. And the good thing is, whatever she left for me, I was also able to share with my son and my husband. So it did not just reach to my generation, it's also able to reach to the generation after me, which is my son. So that's what I mean by legacy. Whatever you guys do, whatever we do now, it actually affects the generation after us. Sabi mo naman, sobra ka namang serious, okay? You're thinking about the future and we're living now. That's okay. That's what you mean by financial freedom. You're able to think for yourself now. You're able to think about acting for yourself now. But at the same time, you are not shackled, you're not bound by what the future holds. It also frees you from your past. Why did I mention about my mother being single? Because I want to convey to you that money did not come by easily for us, for our family. It really took hard work for my mom, even myself. That's why I know hard labor. But the good thing is, I was not bound by that. I was not bound by, let's say, the debts that were incurred in the past. I wanted to be free from that. And I also want to have a future that is free from the past that I had. And I hope you got that. So even as early as your careers now, think about legacy. What you can leave behind, but what you can leave for the generations that would follow you. So that's what I thought. And as you progress in your career, and there will be progression. Think of it that way. As you progress in your career, think about investments. Now, I'm not going to promote any kind of investment. That is not my job. But I just want you to open up your mind about investing. First is you invest in yourself. That's one thing that I learned in my phase in life now. I invest in myself. I study. In fact, said we're very fortunate and thankful that our leaders value education. Not only do we have soft skills or soft skills training, but they also invested for us to have e-learnings. These learnings that we can just use with a click of a phone. We can study anytime, anywhere, and they actually apportion a certain number of hours for us to study. Isn't that great? But you know what? If it's just there, if I just leave it there, it's a beautiful gift that is left unopened. So what do? You open the gift of education, learning. You can learn through any media now. Continue to learn because it builds yourself. Invest in yourself because that is one of the best investments that you can make. Don't be kuripot. Don't feel bad if you spend a little on a webinar that you need to attend. But if it will upgrade your skills and widen your knowledge, it's a very good investment. The return of investment in the education that you gain cannot be computed because it will live in the number of years that you live and the people that you affect through your life. So again, that is a wonderful investment, right? Invest in your family. Invest time. Again, what do you mean invest? What are your commodities? Time, your talent, and your treasure, right? So invest your talent in your family. If you know how to cook, cook for your family. If you're good in cleaning, clean for your family. You know, if you're just good in talking, then just talk to your family. Invest in your family. Go with them. If you can, or you know, the time will come that we will be permitted to travel, that it would be right and safe for all of us to travel. Travel with them, right? Spend time with your family. I mentioned work-life balance here in FactSet, and that is something that we value, and it's a culture that we uphold. So, and families, you can't replace that. It again, the return of investment in the one that you invest towards your family will have multiple returns, and it will go from generation to generation. Invest in your future. That's very important. You will only be working for how long? I don't know. You know, I know a friend and he's so into these investments and stocks and all these things. And when we were talking, when he was just starting, he mentioned to me, I want to retire at 40. Good. And that's what he's trying to do now. He says, I want to be able to have this much and invest in myself and my wife's future, my family's future. Cool. Now, it would be good that you would invest towards your future. Enjoy what you have now and learn to budget, know what to spend, but put your investments as another line in that budget. That's why I put budget in the second part, because it's very important that you know what you want to spend for. And if you want to invest, put a column, put a row, put a section for the investments. A portion for studying, a portion for your family time, a portion for your future investment. So, what do you do when it's not normal? It's not the normal that you know. You know, we, I guess we are all young here. We're all in your maybe 20s, and I already, ano na pala, I already revealed. I'm in my early 30s. Okay, okay. So, but I was fortunate enough to know the future, and I'm sure you do. You knew the years before COVID, right? Sometimes people would divide time as pre-COVID and post-COVID. But what do you do? You used to earn a certain way pre-COVID, but now you have to earn a different way during this period and post-COVID. So how will you do? How will you do that? You have to be able to adapt. I love the term agile here, but that's another topic. But I'll leave you with 3 R's. Okay, so this morning, remember your 3 R's. Okay, refresh. And this has a great deal and effect on your financial freedom. You need to refresh. What do you mean by refresh? Refresh is like a reset, or refresh is like, let's say you've been a tough, going in school. I'm not sure if you're still in school again or just graduated. But with me, I graduated and I knew that I would go to school every day, meet my classmates and all, meet my professors. And I graduated normally. But some of you may have graduated and you took all your classes online. I have a friend that he has been in school for 2 years already, but most of that was taken online because he was hit with a pandemic. I mean, he started going to school And the pandemic just started. So he's already going on his second year, kumbaga, online. And that's not normal. And and I understand and empathize what you feel because it's not easy, you know? These new things, these new ways are thrown at you, and you haven't even begun going to the workforce. But these things are already thrown at you. Even with us, we've known the normal before, and these rules are thrown at us. And how will you adapt? But you have to refresh. It's like when you take a bath, you know, you 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 let down everything first. If you want to be free financially or for any case in that matter, whatever you are carrying, you let it down first or you write it down. You know, okay, this is what is hindering me from financial freedom. This is what's hindering me from getting the job that I want. This is what's hindering me from applying to the company that I have been looking at ever since I graduated in high school. Look at the hindrances and put them down. Lay them down and set them aside. Refresh. Kumbaga nga, whenever you enter the house, di ba? After going out, you have to take off what you are wearing and take a bath. Refresh. Review. Review your current situation. Financially, review your portfolio. Review your money. How much you have in the bank, how much you have in your wallet, how much you have in your GCash or kahit ano pang cash that is mobily done, I don't know. But review what you have. It is not bad to review your current status. Sometimes people try to avoid reviewing where they stand financially. Oh, 50 pesos na lang yung pera ko. Oh my gosh. Diba? So, no, you have to review because you know where you are going to start. When you start reviewing, like your resume, review your resume. It's good that you look at it, whether it's online. You review what you currently put there. Review the skills that you've put there, and you will know where you stand, where you did well, and where you want to go. So that's very important in financial freedom. Reviewing where you stand. Then you renew. There are old mindsets towards financial, how we handle our finances that we need to renew. Sometimes we think, this is how my life has been ever since I started studying, ever since I knew about the earth, you know. My son is so funny. He would say, you know, this is the first time that I've tasted macaroni in the 8 years that I've existed. Wow, 8 years ka pa lang, di ba? But, you know, there's sometimes our ideologies that we have carried in our lives but are not helping us, especially towards our financial freedom. So you have to renew the things that are in your mind that will not help you. If you think that earning money used to be just confined in a certain way, renew, right? Like I love Viber groups. You know, the Viber groups that I'm in now, I would see like BGC food group, BGC safety equipment, office supplies. And because people don't want to go out, or some people don't want to go out, or the sellers are limited, right, to the normal means of selling, they adapted. They refreshed, they reviewed what they currently have and what they can do, and they renewed their way of thinking. Some say before the turon just gets sold by making lako outside, but now they message it to you. We sell 12 turons in a bucket, and this is how much it is. Then you just place the order. Renew the way people can pay you online now, right? It's not just credit card or cash. So renew the way you think. Now may not be the normal that we were all used to, but The only thing that is constant really is change. And we have to be able to adapt and go through with it. It's okay. And if you feel that you are stuck in a certain moment in this changing cycle, just take the next step. Just take it. If you know how to bake a great cookie, bake it. And just start offering it to someone in your family or posting it in Instagram, eating it. And then maybe someone is just looking for a cookie this morning and they would just say, "Oh, you bake a cookie?" "Yes, I do." And lo and behold, you're already a cookie magnet. So just renew, refresh, review, and renew. Then you take the next step. So, as I go towards the end of this talk, it's very important that you have a vision. When you are talking about financial freedom, you need to have a vision. Where do you want to go? Right? Hindi siya yung one division. Okay. I don't know if you're watching that, but I love that show. Anyway, Marvel fans here, I hope you interact. But okay, but you have to have a vision. Where do you want to go? What legacy do you want to leave? Or what amount do you want to save? What investment do you want to have? Right? And what do you want to achieve? Why are you applying and what do you see yourself going to? Organize your thoughts, organize your finances, organize your skills. Again, going back to the biodata, the CV, the resume, whatever it's called, organize your skills, put them together, organize your strengths, organize your weaknesses. I like with what Ms. Hodloman mentioned in her presentation. She narrowed down advantages and disadvantages, pros and cons. It's very good that you would do that. You would be able to weigh in, but you don't be limited with that. When you organize what you can do, what you cannot do, you will know where to focus. So, in this time, how will you gain financial freedom, or how will you earn more? How will you be able to, I'm still applying, but I need to help my family? If you are organized, you would see, I'm great at this. I can actually type 10,000 words in 1 minute. Oh, wow. It's not even scientifically possible. But yeah, wow. I can maybe, while I'm looking for the job that I want, maybe I can go to this, online tech company that can help me and maximize my skill of typing fast. Oh, my voice is so well modulated while I'm still looking for this job. I will maybe use my voice as a voice talent. Did you know that can be? There are actually companies that pay for voices, for good voices. Actually, I like shopping, di ba? I like going through all the marketplaces in Facebook. But my tita does not know how to use the Facebook. What I will do, tita, you want? I'll shop for you. Be a personal shopper. But the only way you would be able to realize what you have is when you organize your thoughts, your skills, and your capabilities. Then you plan. How will you be able to do this? How will you get to the vision that you have? As you have a vision, you organize what you have, your skills, your talents, then you plan your way towards getting to that vision. Start small. You don't have to earn 1 billion right away. It's very, the number or percentage of people earning 1 billion on the first day is, I don't know, very minute. But start small. Aim small first, but keep going. You don't climb 18 floors by jumping from the first to the 18th unless you are a superhero, right? But if you take one step at a time, you'll get to the top. You'll get to the roof deck. And that's what I mean by starting small, aiming small, but you keep going. And have faith, regardless of the religion that you have. Really, it's not about that. It's about having faith on your vision, faith in yourself. You can do it. You are more than capable. I'm sure your schools have taught you well. Miss Guevara has spoken very well of you. And I believe that what you have and what you have learned in school and what you have gained in life will help you reach your vision. And with that, you would really, truly have financial freedom. Being able to take control of your finances, how you spend, where you spend it, and the legacy that you would leave behind through your investments, through your savings. That is financial freedom. Not being bound by the rules or the things that were behind you. So as I end, FactSet, we are looking for you. Okay, so if you want to find out about what FactSet is and what we do, you can actually connect with us in www.factset.com/careers, or you can email manila.recruiting@factset.com, and we have very helpful team members from the recruitment team or talent acquisition team. And you can also follow us on our social media in our Twitter, Instagram, and our YouTube channel. So we are looking forward to hearing from you, and we're looking forward to meeting you. And just in case that you happen to be in FactSet in the future, I hope to meet you in one of our corridors in the new FactSet Tower. But in the meantime, be safe, stay safe, follow the guidelines. Remember, whatever that we are doing now affects the people around us and even the ones going forward to us or in the future. Thank you so much for this morning.
Thank you, Miss Mara, for your presentation. Actually, simula pa lang, I could already relate dahil nga yung first paycheck ko ay hindi ko rin alam bakit biglang nawala na ang laman all of a sudden. Also, when you said na yung about reviewing yung current status, ako ay guilty of not wanting to look kung ilan na yung laman ng ATM ko kasi hindi ako matutuwa. So, it was very relatable. So, I have a few questions lang for you. Maybe you could help us regarding this.
Sure,
Do you have
sure.
yeah. Do you have general advice for those interested or thinking about taking up loans sometime in the future?
Okay. For one thing that you have to think about is, why are you taking up the loan for? Right? If what you are taking up a loan for is something that will not give you a good return of investment, then maybe think about it. Rethink, right? For example, if you're taking up a loan to put up a business,
Mhm.
and like what I said, studying it is very important, right? Knowing what you are getting into, right? And then when you would realize that the return of your investment or the return of your loan would actually be bigger than your loan itself or the interest of that loan itself, then that might be a good loan to take. Not all of us are fortunate to have capitals that are big enough to fend for the business that we want to start, right? But you always have to do your study. When you are studying what you are getting into, you would not be eating so much that you cannot chew. Gets mo? If you
Mhm.
take a loan, but you cannot pay for it because, you were not prepared, or you just wanted to take a loan and you didn't know what you were getting into, medyo, that's hard. So that's why if you're taking up a loan, but your investment or the return is bigger than anything that you would be spending, then
Mhm.
I think that would be a worthwhile
Uh,
thing to do.
Thank you, Miss Mana. So to our viewers, consider it very carefully. Unang-una nga, para saan mo ba gagamitin yung loan na yan? Baka
Exactly.
bibili ka lang ng expensive item, I don't know, but
Yeah, baka you're getting a luxury item and you're taking up a loan.
so, yun nga,
Going
business,
to pay off
probably.
another
Baka may
loan.
maisip pa kayong other worthwhile reasons for a loan. Ewan ko, baka bahay. I don't know. It's up to you.
Yeah.
Pero
Yes.
make
Yes.
sure about your reasons for it. So simula pa lang thinking about the
And then
reasons.
actually, Mr. Palomar, is when you take up a loan, banks actually provide you an avenue wherein you can pre-terminate your loan when you have enough money to
Mm-mm.
pay off, right? The loan or before it even matures. So you can do
Mm-mm.
that. Cut off on the interest, you shorten the number of years that you would be paying the interest for, and you're debt free sooner. The sooner
Mhm.
you become debt free, the better for you.
Okay. Thank you, Miss Mara. Hindi ko alam kung para sa akin yung advice na yon kasi I was not aware of that. I did not know that there's such a thing. There's such an arrangement
Yes,
with
you can
that.
inquire from your
I
banks.
will
You can
look into that. So, to our viewers, samahan niyo ako. Look into it. So, Miss Mara, I guess this is somewhat connected as well. And well, a reason why they say that's very important to save is because of emergencies. So, what can you say or advise us regarding insurance, health insurance, or something to that effect? Mm.
Okay, so but there are different kinds of insurances,
Yes,
huh?
yes, yes.
Yeah. Um, okay, so what your question is about what can I say about life insurance, right?
Either that or yung mga mix up na may insurance and investment or something to that effect.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Actually, they would always say it depends on your risk appetite
Mm-mm.
or what you want to achieve, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I personally, I like life insurance. Why? Because it's something that I was able to get a gain from personally. When our parents passed away, my husband and myself, I saw that the life insurance really worked. They really, it wasn't a joke. They really got something after the passing away of the parents. So
Mm-hmm.
I like that. So that's with me. I actually started my first life insurance in my early 20s. Yeah, when I said I started to save, sorry, in my late 20s when I started saving, I got an insurance already. Why? Because it's cheaper when you get it younger.
Mm-hmm. Yes, yes.
And you get a higher return towards as you keep the money there. Parang ganyan. So the traditional insurances, again, I'm not promoting anything, right? But when I was studying it and I was going through it, the traditional insurances would just give you an insurance. But now there are plenty insurances that actually has an investment,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yes.
And that would be beneficial for you also because you keep your life insurance, but in case you need it, you have an investment, right? But you have to do your homework. Di ba,
Mm-hmm.
school yan. So you have to do your homework. You have to research on the company that you are going to invest into. Know that they have been in the industry for a long time, or they can actually manage your funds for you, right? So I personally believe in insurance because, again, I've had it from a personal experience. I'm not promoting it. So, but it really depends on your conviction or your appetite, your financial appetite, your risk appetite. But to me, I really don't lose anything because even if my money doesn't earn, I still have a life insurance. So, and I like to broaden my portfolio, right? I paid one insurance, and then when I have extra money or when you get salary increase or you get a better paying job, you instead of splurging, you invest that increase, right? You can enjoy life, but you set aside a little amount and put it in investment.
Okay, thank you, Miss Mara. So to our viewers, again, this is one thing you could consider. We are not promoting or imposing anything sa
Yes.
inyo, but these are all things that you can consider. And well, it was helpful for us. Hopefully, it would be the same for you, so you could consider it. Okay, Miss Mara, this ends our portion for today. I hope that we could invite you sa aming future webinars, whether it's the
Oh,
same topic or baka ibang topic that we could ask for you to do.
our pleasure, our pleasure. In fact,
Mm.
that we really we're focused on not just building an employee, but building
Mhm.
the person himself or herself.
Okay, thank you, Miss Mara. So to our
Thank you,
viewers to
Robert.
learn more about the company of Miss Mara, go to jobs180.com/packsetcareers. Nandyan yan sa ilalim ng screen nyo. It's right there right now, jobs180.com/careers. Okay, thank you very much, Miss Mara. See you soon.
Thank you, Robert. Thank you so much again.
Okay, so that's it for us today. We are glad to be able to share to you yung content of our webinar. We would like to thank again Cognizant Technology Solutions and FactSet Philippines for presenting, for sending a representative. Once again, we would also like to thank CEO Group for being one of our corporate sponsors for this event. Get the latest fashion trends for your corporate attire needs. Check out CEO Store in Lazada and Shopee or at the nearest mall in your area. For career opportunities, visit jobs180.com/CEO Group. Okay, so to close our event, I would like to call once again an official from your school. I would like to invite to the stage Ms. Camille de la Cruz, official from Career and Job Placement Office.
Okay. So, good morning again, everyone. So, on behalf of La Consolacion University Philippines Student Welfare Services, I would like to express my sincerest gratitude to Mr. Kim Chua of Jobs180.com for discussing getting ready for job applications, Ms. Janet Padloman of Cognizant for discussing the new normal world of work, expectation of the new normal work environment, Ms. Mara Morales of FactSet for discussing Guide to Achieve Financial Freedom, to our graduating students who attended this very informative and timely webinar, and most of all, to Jobs180.com, who is a great partner of LCUP in giving career-related services. This webinar was organized in order for you students to become prepared and equipped as you move to the next chapter of your life, the world of work. We wanted you to become ready for job applications, for you to know what are the current trends, how to dress for an interview, and the likes. We also want you to have a glimpse and expectation regarding the new normal world of work. And of course, we want to help and guide you achieve financial freedom as you work. But still, you must remember that your success in the future depends on how you work today, and that you need to ask yourselves if what you are doing today is getting you closer to where you want to be. Remember, success doesn't come to you, but rather you go to it. Thank you, God bless, and stay safe.
Thank you, ma'am. And once again, I mentioned earlier, we are happy to do this for you. Happy that we could partner to make this webinar, give this webinar para sa ating students. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you very much po, sir, and to jobs180.com.
You're very much welcome. And well, final announcements to our viewers. You could watch this video sa aming FB page, nakasave to doon. And well, pwede nyo balikan yung mga na-miss nyo, pwede nyo sabihan yung friends nyo na pwede nyo panoorin kung hindi kayo nakasama today. And makikita nyo sa screen right now that you will have to fill up an evaluation form. So it's right there sa screen nyo. And I think we could also post it sa comment section. Pero look into it. Yan, dyan sa screen nyo ang inyong evaluation form that you would have to fill out. Okay, so that's it. Thank you.